Welcome to the Chain Out Podcast with your hosts, Jeremy and Daryl.
That's right, the Chain Out Podcast, live on Facebook, live on YouTube, or host live in your ears on some audio platform. It's season 2, episode 94. I'm your favorite co-host, Jeremy, and with me as always is your host, Daryl.
I'm going to absorb that as much as I can because I don't think it'll be sticking around for much longer, but that is me currently. I'm very happy to be here.
Yes, and how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't get out to play much disc golf, but how are you?
I'm doing well as well, and I'm very excited for tonight's show because tonight is our Falcons Flight recap show. We're excited to have FPO winner Gabby Lee on the show, MPO winner Nich Culver, and tournament director Don Annett. But before we get to the Falcons Flight recap, Daryl Bankus will be joining us to do some live giveaways related to the Canadian Disc Golf Championships early bird registrations, and that means we're going to have to shorten up our top of show.
Yeah.
So we should probably get right into it. And let me start by just making sure. How was your week, Daryl? How's it going? How you doing?
You know, I'm doing good. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to get out and play too much disc golf. Mark's in the chat. Thanks, Mark. It's been a while since you've been here. So thanks for stopping by. I think there's only one reason why he's here, because he thinks we're going to talk about him. He's got something that he thinks we're going to talk.
We might.
We might. He might be involved. But yes, I haven't played a lot of disc golf. Probably the last time I went out and played. Well, I know the last time I went out and played was League.
Okay.
Had a bit of an up and down. You know, I go out and play a one disc round.
Right.
With one disc, I go out to Rundle Park and shoot a -1.
Cool.
Pretty good for one disc.
With what disc again?
That was a Thunderbird.
Okay.
An Innova Thunderbird.
You
Star
putted
plastic.
with a Thunderbird.
Putted with a Thunderbird. Upshots with a Thunderbird.
And got a -1.
Everything.
Wow.
I got a -1. I go out last week and play with my full bag. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, but all the way through the season, obviously I'm on the board now, so I kind of have some clues of what's happening during the week. But I think we only have like 4 weeks left of League.
Okay.
And I was thinking to myself, we haven't played Top of the World. And last Thursday was Top of the World shot. So for people that don't know, hole 9 at Rundle Park, the tee pad is the downhill shot, but there's a toboggan hill that the kids use in the wintertime. And they move the tee pad to the top of the hill. So it's really a high, you're probably another 50, 75 feet up from your tee pad in elevation.
For sure.
And you're also adding on another 100 feet maybe in distance.
Right.
So yeah, we had that shot last week. And with my full bag, I go out in a shot of +4. So all you need is one disc. That's what we're saying.
Apparently that's it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, while you were doing that this past weekend, I was actually at Falcons Flight, and I had a great time over the weekend. And I wanted to say we had a lot of BR Disc Golf and Cardinal Disc Golf teammates out at the event. So Amber Chason was there, Jordan Udenarden, Terry Hong, Will Granger. They were all from Team BR. And then as well as Mason Howard, Daisy Kelly, Miguel Alvarado, and Gabby Lee were from Team Cardinal. So it was great to be able to rub shoulders and say hi to all of them.
Yeah. We should also give a special shout out as well to a couple of our BR team members, Jana Olsen. And we got to give him a shout out. Mark Thompson as well. He's in the chat. Jana took down the win in the FA 50 division, playing 22 points above her rating. And Mark Thompson took down first place in MA2 division, playing 55 points above his rating. He was so happy he got back into the 900 club, 901. Now he's just put in an event 55 points above his rating.
He's going up. He's going places.
You people are going to be so happy when ratings day comes around again.
Yeah, I think so. It was Falcons treated a lot of us pretty good. That's for sure.
Absolutely. So we've been doing this quite regularly now. We want to highlight a Canadian event that happened this past weekend. And this past weekend, the Ontario Junior Championships took place over the weekend down in Paris, Ontario. They had 64 players overall in attendance, with players in divisions ranging from MJ and FJ 18 all the way down to, get this, MJ and FJ 6.
Oh, wow. They were able to get that many divisions. So you're talking players that are under 6 years old. So like 5-year-old, 4-year-old players. Wow.
That's how the math works. It works out. Yeah, so congrats to friend of the show, co-organizer Brooklyn O'Krafka. She took down the FJ 15 division. Tour director Ryan Bevilacqua and the ODSA did a great job with the Little Heisers events all year, culminating in this event. And you know what? They made this event free to every participant.
to everybody. Like
Yeah.
that's if you want to get juniors into the sport, I guess that's the one of the ways to do it is make the event free. How to take
Exactly.
away the barriers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you want to see it, go head over to Ryan's Facebook page because he has a little video on there that he posted of the FJ6 playoff. It was so cute.
It really was
Yeah.
seeing the FJ6s because they were just having the time of their life, not probably realizing exactly what the playoff was, but it was
Right?
fun. They were both really happy with the finished result.
Yeah.
And and on top of that, we had somebody reach out to us this week, and that was Steven Pocaro, who is also goes by Thumber DG on the socials.
Yeah.
And he's from BC, and he's going to be bringing a juniors event to Kamloops, BC, and that's going to be November 1st and 2nd. And just as Bevy and the Ontario group did, he's going to make this one free as a free registration for kids. So
Free registration.
yeah, can you believe that?
I think that's a good way to get juniors into disc golf, Jeremy.
It's a great way for sure. We got invited to go out there, and I would love to do it. I don't know if we're going to be able to make it to Kamloops for that, but
yeah, we can see we try and make things work. It's definitely a worthwhile event, I think.
yeah, we'll do our part here by announcing it and trying to bring some attention as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So moving up in levels, I guess, moving to our pros. Most of the pros were playing down at the Discraft CCR Open, fueled by Great Lakes Disc down in Holt, Michigan over the weekend, including some of our Canadians. On the MPO side, we had Chris Brown, Joe Vanderveen, Ezra Lockington, and Brian McDonald. They were all there. Joe Vanderveen finished tied for 58th as the highest Canadian MPO.
That's right.
Yeah. Good job.
And on the FPO side, Rebecca Dawn, Chantel, Miss Frisbees Badinsky, Colleen McInnes, Elaine King, Daryl,
Yeah.
and Jessica Goulet were all there. Now, Rebecca finished tied second with Owen Scoggins and Deanne Carey, while Miss Frisbees and Colleen also finished above the cash line, putting some money in their pockets.
Yeah, no, it was a great finish to the event. I don't know if you're watching on PDG Live. I mean, you were busy this weekend with other things, but I think it came down to the last hole, and the four people on the card, I think they Owen, Deanne, and Cat Merch parred the hole, and unfortunately, Rebecca ended up taking a double bogey. If she didn't take that double bogey, if she only parred the hole, she would have been in a first place tie with Cat Merch.
Oh, so close.
That would have been so awesome.
What a season she's having. It's been amazing to watch.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, there was also an MP40 division at this event.
Yeah.
And we had 3 Canadians there, including Marty Hendel, Brady Belanger, and Eric Vandenberg. Now, Marty ended up winning the MP40 division by 10 strokes, Daryl.
Wow.
And he did that also by scoring 9 birdies in a row. We talked about the Nico's 7-layer birdie Rito, which he got when he got his 7 birdies in a row. But Marty scored 9 birdies in a row, and that was to finish the tournament. So if anybody thought they were catching him, he slammed the door at hole 11, essentially, or 10, essentially.
So he scored a Marty Nindle.
Yeah, I like it.
Don't forget, after this episode, be sure to jump over to our Patreon and get the free link to join us for more disc golf talk. This week, we'll be doing our Gold Eagle Open Fantasy Pick Show, and we're excited to have last year's FPO winner, Terry Heiserbaum Hong, join us to make the guest picks for Team Guest.
Yeah. And our giveaway for the Cold Garden Limber Open hat has finished up, and we will spin that wheel a little later, but we've got a lot to go. We want to wrap this top of the show up.
Yes.
And speaking about giveaways, we want to get Daryl Bankus on the show because we want to do some Canadian Disc Golf Championship giveaways.
Oh, it's time, Jeremy.
Yeah. So last week we had Daryl on the show to talk about nationals. He mentioned that there would be some giveaways coming up. He was kind enough to invite us to help announce the winners. Let's get him on the show.
He's right here. Let's bring him on.
Hey, Daryl. Welcome back.
You're muted, Daryl. We can't hear you. I know you were waiting quietly in the wings.
Thanks for having me back, guys.
Yeah, it's great to have you back.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe. This time next week, we will be somewhere in Ontario podcasting live, probably in the Peterborough region somewhere.
Yeah, we're looking for a spot. If you know of any good ones, you let us know. But we'll
between the hours of 9 and 11 Eastern.
I'll send you a pin. You guys can follow it to the goats.
There you go.
Sounds good. Well, last week you were on the podcast and helped us get ready on what we could expect for nationals next week. And you also mentioned that you had some awesome prizes to give away for anyone who signed up for the extra activities going on before September 2nd. Well, it's September 3rd and here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're excited to help you announce some winners. And we're thinking that earlier today, you sent us the names of all the early birds who registered in time. Daryl, how much was that number? What was that number you had?
So we ended up with an even 250 entries.
Yeah. And you've since loaded those up into the wheel
I have.
to do some spins. Now, this is where we need your help, Daryl. So when we do these spins, how is it going to work? Are any of these names coming out? What's going on when we do this?
All the names stay in because we're starting with the smaller prize and going to work our way up to the Smuggler's Notch Getaway giveaway.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
everybody's name stays in.
Nobody
and
comes off the wheel.
If you're lucky enough to win all 7 prizes,
Wow.
well, then you should be
Go
buying lottery tickets now.
Exactly. That's what I was just about to say. So why don't we get right into it then, Jeremy? Like you said, we got 7 prizes to give away.
And I think it looks like, Daryl, you've got the list there in front of you. You do want to do the announcing parts for us. And then when you're ready, Daryl will hit the spin button.
Okay, let's just make a record here. Are you guys going to write down who wins this?
It's being recorded, but we will write it down. Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Okay,
Yes.
well, we're going to start off small. So the first prize is going to be a 3-pack of the tournament discs. We've got a Toro, a Rolo. Not a Rolo, Roadrunner, and 3.
Oh,
And
fantastic.
these are all with the Mike Ramanauskas double ram discs artwork for the season that's showing up on a bunch of the apparel.
Yeah.
So 3 discs goes to the first winner.
Here we go. Let's have a look. Let's do it live so that everybody knows what is happening. What is going on there, Jeremy? There we are. We are live with the spins. You see all the 250 names. Let me go ahead and hit spin.
Nice work on that, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that Daryl guy is pretty amazing. He can do a lot.
Sometimes he knows what he's talking about. Okay, we got our first winner. Congratulations to Tanya Temple.
Okay. Now, Daryl, you'll have to let us know if you...
Tanya's from our area.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
yeah.
Congratulations,
I'm
Tanya.
not sure what she signed up for, so we'll get a hold of you, or you're picking your prizes up at the tournament, by the way, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah. And thanks to Tin Lid Disc Golf for putting that prize pack together and getting that out to everybody. That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's just be quick about this tonight because I took your time last week. So
That's okay.
Ridge Roller out of the U.S.
Okay.
I met up with these guys down at the College Disc Golf Championship.
Give me 1 second. There you
And
go.
yeah, is that better? Maybe I'll hold it back more.
There
we
you
go.
go.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, that's an awesome bag.
They donated 2 bags to the tournament, and these are those ones that are stiff enough that they work like a stool. You can sit right on top, and they're meant to go in their Ridge Roller carts. Yeah, you can park your butt fully on top of this thing. It's got a giant. It's got a full rack built inside. These are awesome.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to have one, but we're giving them away. We got 2 of these to give away. So Ridge Roller was nice enough to do that. We'll give one now, and then we'll have a break, and we'll give another one.
All right.
Good.
That's awesome. Well, let's get that wheel up, and thanks to Ridge Roller for making that happen.
Yeah, let's bring that right up. Here we go. We'll spin the wheel again.
Yeah, Daryl had mentioned that 250 names would fit pretty big on there. It certainly does. Hey,
it's awesome.
You wouldn't want a slice of that pizza. That's a small pizza.
Adam Gravestock, a Ridge Roller bag is on its way to you. Well, it's not, but you have to come and pick it up at Tournament Central, probably.
Yes, please.
So if he gets that before he gets out on the course, gets a little tired there, trying to hike up the hills on some of those properties, he can set the bag down and just have a seat, and Ridge Roller will take care of him.
Fantastic. Okay, are we doing the second Ridge Roller now?
Nope, number 3.
What are we doing next, Daryl?
Number 3 is a Innova Traveler basket.
Oh,
perfect.
And do you have that one sitting around there too, or?
No, I didn't grab it out of the garage. It's in the garage.
That's okay. Everyone knows what a basket looks like.
Everyone knows what an Innova Traveler is. It's the folding one that gets all fun. You can throw in your car and take to the beach.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's pull up the wheel again.
Okay. Here it comes,
It
the
is
Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, we got a lot of names on there. It's taking a long time to load up.
That's right, 250 of them to be exact.
Exactly.
That wheel is spinning, and where's it going to stop? Sounds like could be
I don't
from
know
the
EBC
Quebec
there.
area,
So,
Yeah.
maybe? So,
We're guessing he's probably from.
well, you have no idea.
We have no idea.
But we know that they're probably from Canada
really have
because
no
when you
idea.
look at the people who have registered,
Yeah.
we've got a abundance of Canadians at this event. So
Absolutely.
yeah, it's going to another great person. So hey, you have a connection with a couple of these prizes. It looks like we had a tin lid disc golf prize. We got an oat goat disc golf prize. You're really supporting this event. We appreciate that, Daryl.
I'm trying. So,
Yeah.
well, we got another Ridge Roller bag. The other one is actually camouflage, but I'm not going to take it out of the
Oh, give me one
box.
second.
So just to remind everyone how nice these are. So, anyways,
Yeah,
good enough.
There you
Let's
go.
draw for another Ridge Roller bag.
Okay.
Okay, we'll get that wheel back up again. And I'm thinking 250 people on the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's about as much discs as I'm trying to take to nationals. But
Exactly.
I don't think I have
it's a
enough
hard
room.
choice.
Where's it going to end up?
It's spinning. It's coming up. It's going to be Jesse Temple. What about that? So Tanya, it looks like, I mean, I'm guessing they're related. Their names are close on the list. So
Look at that.
Jesse Temple, Tanya Temple.
That's fun. Yeah. Locals
All right.
again. They're from Ontario. So, yes, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
That's pretty exciting.
So,
Yeah.
wow. So they've won a bag and some discs already.
Well, that's good because they go together pretty good.
One of our sponsors. Yeah, they fit inside, eh? Wow. One of our sponsors this year, one of our whole sponsors is FG Bradley, and they operate a couple of stores or three game stores in our area: pool tables, disc golf stuff, dartboards, that sort of thing, board games. And I think they're coming to the championship. I think they're going to be setting up and selling some stuff. But I picked up a
Cornhole.
really nice competition cornhole board from them earlier in the season. They gave me a good deal on it, and now I'm going to pass it back on to someone's lucky enough to take it home. This one might be a tough one to get home if you're on an airplane. So I'm kind of hoping it's a local.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, and with the cornhole
it's a
boards,
big competitive one.
Oh, the big ones, yeah, and with the cornhole boards
like
too.
full 5 feet high.
Oh wow,
wow,
that's awesome.
That would definitely won't fit in the overhead storage
high,
locker.
whatever they are. Yeah.
Okay, let's spin the wheel.
Well, I know with cornhole, it will help you to get your putting going because if you can throw a beanbag, you can probably throw a disc into the basket.
That's
too.
the way it works.
So that would Gabrielle, be congratulations.
Yeah. Hopefully,
we'll make sure your name's on that thing when you show up.
Absolutely.
And then before we get to the grand prize, Visionary Disc Golf. I think I got one of their boxes up behind. Practice nets, one for each course. And along with that, they're also going to give us a home size, just a single person throwing net. And you don't have to pick this one up. They're going to ship it direct from Visionary straight to whoever wins this one.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well,
they were nice enough to help again this year.
We've seen those Visionary disc golf nets. We've had them at our putting leagues where we can throw into them, where some of them have pockets in them. Some of them are just a big net. But that's one where if you miss the Visionary net when you're throwing, you should probably take a break.
Yes. Andrew Mitchell. Well, we know Andrew Mitchell. He's from our area.
Yes, he is.
Congratulations to Andrew.
Andrew needs to get me his address.
Yes.
We'll try and get that shipped soon.
Well, we'll tell you there, Daryl, that Andrew Mitchell and Zach Mitchell, Andrew's in, I believe, the MA 50 division. Zach is playing MA1 MPO. The two of them are coming out from the Edmonton area, and they were able to connect with some other people heading out and are sharing a space. And they're just having that whole experience where disc golfers from around the country are coming together to meet each other for the first time and even share a space.
Yeah,
so it's cool.
Exactly. Fantastic. Well, that's 6 of the 7 prizes.
Some of the joy of these big tournaments. Yeah. So now we're on to number 7. This is the big one. This is what inspired it all. I've been thinking for a while that, Oak Goat and some of the other private courses that are around should be connecting with other private courses in the community. So I've reached out to Smuggler's Notch. Clearly they're a bit bigger than what Oak Goat's got going on, being a whole ski resort and everything. But the concept's there as far as disc golf goes. I was lucky enough to meet them at the expo and been chatting up with them and said, why don't you guys help us out? It's a good promo for you guys to get some Canadians traveling back to Vermont. It's a nice part of the U.S., so people should be going there and enjoying some disc golf. And they ended up offering this prize up. It's going to be a 3-day, 2-night stay at Smuggler's Notch. Includes all the disc golf you want, accommodations, and not quite sure what else they're going to put into this package, but they've committed that this is they put a price on it being worth about $1,500. So
wow,
this is a big prize. I mean, someone's going to get lucky here. This one prize, if by chance this is something that someone really can't use, we're willing to do a cash in lieu for this one if someone wanted. All right. So if someone doesn't want the 3-night stay, which I think would be silly if they can't take it, the tournament or however this works out, and I'll talk to Smugs about it. We're willing to give them $500 cash.
Okay.
That's great.
That's awesome. I don't see why someone's not going to go.
Exactly.
That would be a great trip, and they've got all year to figure it out too, right? So
yeah, because it's for 2026. So so there's time to plan for it, and perhaps plan a bigger vacation. And if you happen to be out west, maybe you plan to come to some other events in the area, or who knows, there may be a blackout around the Green Mountain Championship. I can't guarantee everything, but let's just say they're going to try and accommodate and hopefully bring a couple Canadians down for the weekend. So they're really nice about it, and I think they deserve a big shout out for this.
Yes.
Yeah. 100%.
Thank you so much to Smuggler's Notch for sure. We'll get some posts out after this too, Daryl, on our feed and that, and make sure to thank them for it. I gotta make sure you're able to do all that for us. Yeah. Okay.
We'll try and get something out. But this is one of those things, like for us going to nationals, this is like our big disc golf journey of the year, right?
Yes.
But to have a disc golf retreat and go to somewhere that play. I looked at their website, the number 7 and number 8 courses according to UDisc, like to go and travel and spend this time and play these courses, home of like Daryl said, the Green Mountain Championship. That's just an awesome disc golfer getaway.
And anytime you hear the pros on all the other podcasts, they're always talking about how much they love those courses, right? Like it's just fantastic out there.
I mean, I've been lucky enough to play them. The whole Vermont area is absolutely stunning. You could waste a week of your life in that part of the country just driving in circles and playing disc golf and hiking, enjoying the countryside. And so, I think someone's going to have an exciting time.
Yeah. Well, let's see who that person's going to be.
Oh, yeah.
Let's, no further delay, drum roll.
Now, our names are in there, Jeremy, because we have signed up for the Glow Championship, or the Glow Bash, and the Crokinole.
Well, I don't want to see my name come up. That doesn't feel right if we're spinning, I'll tell you that much.
Wouldn't that be funny? Well, Daryl's name is in there as well.
You put a lot of effort into this.
Lyndon Hancock.
I won't go.
Yes. Lyndon Hancock, congratulations.
Lyndon Hancock. I do not know Lyndon either.
Are you able to find Lyndon on there? Do we know where they hail from? Let's take a look here.
Wow, you're really asking me to...
No, I'm here for you.
Jeremy is the
are you finding it on TBJ?
Yeah, you betcha.
He's got him already.
Lyndon Hancock is from one of the original disc golf places in Canada.
Yeah.
St. Thomas, Ontario.
What division is Lyndon playing?
865 rated MA2. Just placed 5th.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's a nice package.
Good. I'm glad it's someone who can drive there conceptually, which does make the package that much more valuable to a lot of people.
Definitely.
Not having to add a flight or something, extra on it. Because Smuggler's Notch probably only, 4 or 5 hours from Peterborough. So
okay,
it's perfect. An ideal winner.
Maybe 6, whatever. Go to Montreal, turn right. So
hit the island, hang a right.
Yeah. If you hit the ocean, you've gone too far. Yeah,
that is awesome, Daryl. I can't believe how much you guys are giving away. Like, we haven't even gotten to the start of nationals yet. That's still a week away. All of these prizes have been given out. Such great sponsors, and we'll make sure to shout them all out. But Yeah, we thought every time we think we hit the peak of our excitement, I just go up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
awesome.
And I mean, if you'll bear with me, I mean, we've got a couple other sponsors have come on. I got the Vessi boxes behind me.
Yeah.
We're doing the Ace It with Vessi prize. Vessi's giving, going to be supporting us by giving us some prizes to give to the first place winners of the amateur divisions. So everyone's going to be getting a pair of shoes from Vessi that wins their division in the amateurs.
Wow.
The Ace It with Vessi. Any aces get a pair of shoes. Sandbagger. Everyone loves a sandbagger. They're on board helping out again this year. They helped with the RIP last year. So, I mean, we're doing our best. It's, some of these are, just good local companies, and some are national scale companies.
Yeah.
And having them all on board just kind of goes, okay, people are starting to recognize disc golf in Canada too. It's already happening elsewhere, but we still need the big push in Canada. And efforts like you guys are doing here is really nice. And I can't say how grateful I am that you guys are going to be handling the opening ceremonies. And right afterwards, Thomas Gilbert's going to be running with the Long Drive Challenge. And, we got a bunch of great players coming up. We were out measuring up the whole length. We're building a new tee just for the Long Drive Challenge.
Okay.
So it's going to be, so people are going to be able to stand on the first tee and the first gold tee box and sort of like a stage and hang around in that area. And then in front of them, they'll be able to watch, the bombers throw. And,
It's
and,
going to be great.
And plus, we got we got the two clinics happening as well. We got Philo's clinic, we got Elaine King's clinic. As far as I'm aware, there's still a chance for people to still sign up for those as well.
I think only 4 spots in Elaine's clinic.
There you go.
And maybe 7 in Philo's. I think it was at 29 today. And just to add to your schedule, I think the long drive contest is going to be led by a herd of goats leading out to the tee box.
One final mow on the way.
It's because Oak Goat's famous for something called a schmergel, which is where you take goats for a walk and go for a wander. So I think as the opening ceremonies wrap up in front of the barn door stage, we're going to be letting a crew of our staff. They're our most important staff. The goats there. They do a lot of work for us and bring a lot of people onto the site. So they're going to be going out for a walk and leading us out to the first tee, and everyone can follow along and snap some photos with the goats. And once they clear off the first and 10th hole, we will we'll just start chucking discs really far.
That's awesome. Well, and fantastic. That's only 1 week away. This time next week, we'll be at Oat Goat, hopefully where you've actually joined the podcast for us. Maybe we'll be in those seats there.
Yeah.
And we can't wait to see you there, Daryl. And we're going to jump right over to our Falcons Flight. We got the TD waiting for that one. So that's amazing. Perfect. Thank you again for giving us the opportunity to help give away these gifts and prizes. And we'll be sure to get a lot of sponsor shout outs here going on too.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, gentlemen. Have a good night.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was awesome, Daryl.
Yeah.
Yeah. And thanks to our guests who have been waiting patiently there as well. It was amazing to give away those prizes. A lot of good players. I think Daryl's made a lot of people happy. Smuggler's Notch, everybody there. It's fantastic.
Yep.
Okay. So here we go. Let's get to the Falcons Flight recap show.
We're on it.
Our first guest tonight is the tournament director of Falcons Flight. He's been playing disc golf for at least 25 years, Daryl. Yep. You know how I know that?
How do you know that?
Because his first tournament on PDGA was Edmonton's own River City Cup back in 2001. And if my math is right.
The math checks out.
All right, perfect. And that's where we are. He's also been directing tournaments over that time and helping to grow Alberta's disc golf scene. Let's welcome Don Annett to the show.
Hey, Don, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good.
We're doing just fantastic. We're riding that high from all those giveaways from Nationals. Now we're celebrating another Canadian A-tier Falcons Flight. We're going to do a fantastic recap with you and the winners as well. So we're really excited.
Yeah, we get so excited, Don, with this show. It just every week it's there's a reason to make us smile, and to have Nationals and the biggest Alberta A-tier happening and recapping that as well. So
Yeah.
Yeah, happy to be here. I caught how you guys are talking about how old I am and how long I've been playing, so I appreciate that.
Hey, you could have been playing since you were FJ6, MJ6, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It'll be so for the record, it'll be 30 years next year of me playing.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
started in 96. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's something to look. That's a goal to aim for, Jeremy.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So it's great to have you back on the show again. Another Falcons flight is in the books. We know that it takes a few days to get everything wrapped up and clean things up and all that sort of process. Where are you along in the process of finishing everything up?
Oh, cleanup usually takes a couple of weeks out on the property, but majority of it's probably done now. The Jordan had submitted the TD report, so that's all done. So mostly just sort of coming down from the high of just a fantastic weekend. So still recovering, honestly.
Yeah.
Don't get a lot of sleep during that week that we're out there. But yeah, just a great event this year, so still very much riding the high right now.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then we know we always kind of asked the TDs, what else have you been doing? Like, are all the pros payouts, have they been transferred? And then the big question that we like to ask here: have you gotten more than 3 or 4 hours sleep yet?
So on the sleep front, not quite. Payouts are still being processed, so we do cash payouts with envelopes, and there was still quite a few that weren't picked up. So
Right.
so we're paying those out right now, but we've got till I don't know Sunday or something like that to get those done. So those will be done in time.
There you go.
Nothing like getting an envelope of cash.
Exactly.
I
That's what I
think
was just thinking.
that's
Yeah,
always
right.
good.
Like it's funny because we and other TDs probably run into this. We hit the banking limits of what you can transfer every day,
Right.
right? So
Yeah.
with our bank, it's $3,000. So at $3,000 a day, and I can't remember our total pro payout was around 30 grand. So that's like
Yeah.
10 days worth, right? And so that's why we do the cash so we can kind of get most of it out of the way, and then we can do the rest during the week.
Okay.
Right
And,
on.
and do you put it in $5 bill denominations so those envelopes are just like super thick?
No, Brenda does a good job. So, if you won hundreds of dollars, you'll be getting 50s and things like that. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Well, Don, I got to see you a number of times over the weekend, and every time I either talked to you or I looked over, you were smiling, you were having a good time. And to me, that was pretty impressive because you're also the tournament director in the middle of Alberta's largest A tier. And, other tournament directors who are constantly stressed out during their events would probably love to hear some of your wisdom. So, what are your secrets to be in the midst of a huge event, the biggest in Alberta? You're the one at the top that's supposed to be making sure everything's going on, and you got a smile on your face. How do you do that?
Yeah. Well, it's because we got a great team. Like we're super lucky. We've got, 5 people on the team who are TDs themselves who run a lot of events like Carrie Neal and Serge and Jordan and Alex Penny and Brenda. And so as well as half a dozen other people on the committee. So huge team. And we sort of carved out roles for everybody. So Brenda's looking after volunteers, Jordan and Serge running all the scoring and scorecards and all that sort of stuff. And so they try to lighten my load, so I'm available to deal with any issues that happen during the tournament. And I had to walk out on the course a few times to check out some speed of play issues and things like that. And there's always the odd card that has a question or a rules thing or whatever. But I really try to make myself available to the competitors and to the people that are out there to deal with anything that I need to. And for the most part, there's usually not a lot. So I enjoy the interactions with everybody and just have a great time out there. But yeah, it's really because of the great team that we have.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's one thing that we know about this tournament is that it always sells out quickly. This year, obviously, was no exception as well. Now, according to PDGA website, there
Mhm.
was 262 players registered at this event. Do you want to tell us, what makes you think the reason for this event being so popular?
I think it's just the player experience, right?
Mm.
People often say this is their favorite tournament. And to me, that's the ultimate compliment, right? These are people that play other tournaments across Canada or even in the US or whatever, and they just say it's their favorite tournament. And I think it's because of a bunch of things. About half the people are camping on site, so it creates that kind of a festival environment. You come, show up, set up your tent, you park your car, and you don't move for 4 or 5 days, right?
Mhm.
Everything's on site. We bring in food trucks and whatever to help feed people, but having everybody there creates this sort of festival environment. The golf is very good. Obviously, the courses are just absolutely immaculate, and so that plays into it. We're known for having great player packs, great payouts, and just a fun time, right? So I think that's what the draw is just all those things stacked up together, and it's the full package, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And all that and celebrating Rudy's memory as well, and the
Yeah.
Faulkner family and everything they've done with that property. It just, I think it all ties it together, and you really feel that part of it as well when
Mm.
you're
Yeah.
when you're
Yeah.
on the course and at the event.
Yeah. 100%.
So now, Don, with this is, I got to be cautious how I ask this question. I'm asking this question because I know it's on other people's minds, but I also kind of brought it up when we had Craig Sheether on the show, and he was quick to tell me that, hey, if I've got an idea, I should maybe get off my butt and do it myself or something. So that's why I'm gonna kind of frame this question this way. But with all the interest in the tournament, do you ever foresee it getting bigger so that more people can play? And the way I was relating it to Craig there was he split the BC Open this year, and he did an AM weekend and a pro weekend. And do you think Falcons Flight would ever entertain an idea like that? Or do you think it might take away from the event?
Yeah, we've talked about that as a team, every year for probably the past 3 years, on how we could accommodate more people. And the most important thing for us is to preserve the player experience that we're able to deliver.
Hmm.
We could easily add another 10, 15 cards per day, but that's another 2, 3 hours required of our staff and all of our volunteers, right?
Hmm.
Splitting weekends is almost double the effort, right? Because now you need that
Right.
volunteer commitment, for 2 weekends. For those that have never been out to the tournament, we have about 100 volunteers on the weekend, and majority of them spotting. We've got runners, people doing starter tents and all that sort of stuff. So just a massive crew of volunteers, and so for now, I think we're comfortable with where we are. We recognize uh, there's huge demand for more people to want to play, and
Hmm.
and we recognize that. I think that's a result of our success, right?
Yeah.
Um, so will we in the future get bigger? Yeah, it's possible, right? But we didn't want to dilute the player experience in any way. Um,
Yeah.
and we have sort of inched a few more people every year, kind of thing. Um, but we like being done, or final tee off or around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Then the courses are empty by 5:30, and then it's time for fun and games, or people to go play a practice round or whatever. Or like we had this year, we had a 3-hour lightning delay, and so if we were packed full of tee times all the way, that would have created enormous problems for us. So we were able to absorb, Rudy coming to visit us for 3 hours and saying hi with lots of
Yeah.
lightning and thunder. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, what you mentioned about that lightning delay, like I played last year and I think it was like plus 30 the whole weekend. This year you mentioned I was checking in on Jeremy and we seen that there was that lightning delay. How do you think that affected if it affected anything at all? Like how did that impact the weekend?
Not much actually. Like we
Hmm.
were really lucky. We knew when we called play at 2:30 that we had about 3.5 hours to absorb,
Hmm.
um, where we could still get all the rounds in that day and not have to, have the the groups that didn't finish start very early in the morning and then have to play again later in the afternoon.
Yeah.
We're really trying to avoid that. So so for the most part, yeah, we got the rounds in. We had to cancel our long drive competition, which is always a huge hit, right? Everybody's
Right.
sitting up on Sunset Hill and enjoying some cold garden beer and just having a great time. So that's always a fun part of our event that we unfortunately had to cancel. Um, if you were to ask the players, there was probably a lot of people that played well under their rating when when we had to resume play, unfortunately.
Right.
It got a little wet out there, but we resumed play at 5:30, and I think by 5:40 the rain had stopped. So,
Yes.
um, so other than wet ground and having to wipe your discs or whatever, the umbrellas were put away and everyone could finish their round. So we were pretty
Right.
happy with that.
Yeah, and I can tell you as a player in that experience, I was happy with it as well, Don, because wouldn't have wanted to try to finish half a round in the next morning or something. So I was out on hole 12 on East. I was halfway through, and I don't think it changed my game either way. I think I played okay, but you were right. There were a few players, one on our card, that took a hole or two to get back started. But what it did was it gave us a great opportunity to see the pros come in on West just as the sun was setting behind them. So it gave a different view that we wouldn't normally get to see. So that was nice. And as you said, when Rudy came to visit, there were some lightning strikes that I wanted to say it looked like a Ghostbusters plasma
Oh,
shooter coming down and hitting the ground. It was pretty entertaining.
right.
Yeah, it was pretty wicked for a while. I had never had to delay around as a TD before, so this is a first experience for me, and so I went and grabbed Surge when the sky was starting to get dark, and I said, "Look, we're on lightning watch now," and so grabbed the air horn and walked up to Sunset Hill, and we're kind of watching things. By the rule, we probably should have called it about a half an hour earlier, but we had no visual or we didn't see any lightning yet, even though we could hear the thunder. So we were kind
Mhm.
of waiting until we could see some lightning. We saw one strike and we started to look at each other like, okay, we might have to call this. And then a big one came and it's like, okay, that's an easy decision. So stood up and
Right.
called around and it worked out perfect. I had quite a few people come by later on that evening or the next day to say that we handled it perfectly. Just
Yeah,
how we delayed as long as we could and then started as soon as we could,
Yeah.
and we were able to get it all in. It worked out great.
for sure. Well, if we go back to the weekend and some of the rounds, when I was looking at the PDGA scores, I noticed that there were three aces over the weekend. So we had MPO player Sam McColeman ace hole 1 West in round 2. We had MPO player Zach Dreger ace hole 4 East in round 3 from the longs. And then we had FPO player Jesse Prado Smith, Dr. Jesse Prado Smith,
Yeah.
who also aced hole 4 from the forward tees in round 3. So we know that Tournament Central is fairly central to all of those holes that were aced. Were you able to tell immediately when the aces were scored? Was there a lot of noise and
Oh yeah.
fanfare? Did you know?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We could hear it, and you can always tell a difference between a really good shot and an ace, right? An ace, just people are screaming and yelling for a longer duration. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, I heard all three of those, and we're hanging around Tournament Central. It's like, oh, it sounds like we had an ace over there, and then somebody would report back within a half an hour. Yeah, so and so aced, hole 4. So
Yeah.
always exciting, always exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of that hole four east,
Hmm.
that's an uphill shot that kind of fades over to the left. So you would naturally assume then that was probably just a backhand hyzer perfect shot right
Yep.
into the basket. But hole 1 on the west side, like there's multiple ways, multiple approaches you can take to get on the island, let alone get the ace on that hole. Did you hear anything back of how that ace went down? How Sam got that ace?
No, I didn't hear how Sam got that one. I would assume it's probably from a forehand because that's the most open access to to the pin there. The highs are through the back door. Most people are just trying to crash into that big tree in front of the basket,
Yeah.
and certainly there's a way through there on the right side too. But yeah, I did not hear how Sam did that. But going back to hole four, I've actually got a funny story to tell about
Oh yeah.
Rudy on that one.
Oh,
When we
okay.
used to play our fun rounds on the weekends when we were out there doing maintenance with Pete and Bevan and Neil and Jordan and some of the guys. Pete would always, or uh, Rudy would always drive ahead on the quad and go and record us on hole four because it's the easiest hole on the course, and he was always wanted to record us, any of us, getting an ace on that one. And so, yeah, without fail, Rudy was always at the end of hole four with his phone out recording us, and I don't think we ever got an ace. And he would always say, "Well, there's another one for the cutting room floor," as he's hitting delete on his on his phone, giving us a hard time about it. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So now the important question: all those three players ace those holes. Were all three players in the ace spot?
Nope. So only one of them was. I know it was like during our awards ceremony. I only had the two names on the list. I didn't know. I didn't have Zach on there.
Right.
But Jesse and Sam did
Sam.
not buy into the ace pot, unfortunately. But Zach did. So Zach will get some ace pot money, but yeah, the other two unfortunately did not.
There you go.
Yeah, well,
That's my theory. Is I always say I never buy into the ace pot because I'm not running aces in tournaments.
mhm.
But you know they can
You
always
have to, because it'll
they
happen. It'll happen.
exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, other highlights of the weekend, Don, were, sitting on Sunset Hill, as you said. You watch the sunset, then the stars start to show up, and the satellites, the shooting stars. The moon was a nice half moon. Milky Way is even overhead because it's
Yeah.
such a dark sky area. But that was all happening. Another event that I didn't actually get to participate in, but it happened on the last day, was the
Doubles.
inebriated doubles event. I can't remember the doubles
Oh,
event on the
drunk
last day.
doubles.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
drunk doubles. Yeah.
Yeah, so I
Yeah,
didn't get
that's
to stick
kind
around.
of
How did it go?
Oh, well, so that happens every year. So basically, after the wind up, there's quite a few people that'll stay over to the Monday. And so we sort of termed it as the drunk doubles. Competition's over, fill your bag with beer and go flip this and grab a partner and just have fun, right? So I rarely get to play drunk doubles because I'm just usually so exhausted.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's always 20, 25 people out there going to play drunk doubles. So yeah, unofficial event, not sponsored by anything, but just everyone wanting to get out and enjoy the course again. And then we also usually have some doubles during the week, typically on the Thursday. I think Johnny Monk organized some doubles on the Thursday. So
Right.
which is a nice thing, like I say, when having everybody off the courses and done by 5:30 or so allows everyone to have the evening to do with whatever they want, right?
Yeah.
Serge does his putting contest on Friday night, which is always a huge draw. I think he had over 80 people participate in the putting contest, and it's not a typical putting contest where you're just like throwing in a basket 30 feet away and maybe stepping back and taking another one. He's got this awesome course set up in the
Yeah.
trees and obstacles that you got to throw through and different types of shots and everything. So it's super fun. So, we do that on the Friday. We typically do the long drive on the Saturday, and then Sunday's the award ceremony, and then drunk doubles for those that hang around.
Yeah. I mean, it's an amazing sponsor to have as the main sponsor of the event because they do so well. But if ever there was a tournament or an event for Cold Garden to sponsor, surely it would be the drunk doubles on the Monday. So,
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah,
so
I think
when
there was still a little bit of beer left too. So yeah.
yeah, so when you look back at the weekend as a whole, obviously you got so many memorable highlights for you. Is there anything that really stands out for you?
Yeah, absolutely. When we had to resume play after the lightning delay, Brenda had lost most of our spotters, and so
Oh,
I had started the horn to get the round started, and went back to Tournament Central, and Brenda was behind the tables at Tournament Central, and she looked up and her eyes were like this big. There was like 4 or 5 people deep, about 10 people wide, with all these volunteers with their raincoats on and umbrellas and everything else, saying, "Where do you need us?" And Brenda is
Wow.
calling them out. "Okay, you go to hole 12 and you go to hole 13." And it was unbelievable. Brenda looked over at me and she's like, "This community is amazing. It's just
Right.
unbelievable." That was such a powerful scene, just to see how many people were there willing to help us, right?
Yeah.
All these competitors had to get back out on the courses and get to their discs and everything else, and just to have that many additional people that were around that were willing to support those players and help out with spotting was just that was probably my favorite moment. It was pretty special.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it certainly was. And that's another thing about Falcons that we can talk about as well, is the ability to bring out so many volunteers, where a lot of other tournaments struggle to get volunteers. You've got people coming out who are playing the event, and when their event is done or their round's done, they're volunteering. You've got people who are coming out who don't play disc golf at all, when they're just volunteering for the weekend. And you've got disc golfers who said, I didn't get in the event, but I still want to be part of it. So they volunteer all weekend. What do you think? Is that just, again, that atmosphere and everything that pulls these volunteers together? Is that what because, a lot of other TDs would want to bottle that up and have you sell it to them because they need it. So what do you think about that? Is that just the atmosphere, or?
Yeah, it's a bunch of, so we certainly want to take care of our volunteers. You're wearing one of our volunteer shirts, and so those are not for purchase. The only way to get one of those is to volunteer, and every year we have a different color of volunteer shirts. Um, you can sort of build your volunteer collection of Aspen shirts. We give discs to the volunteers and feed them with snacks, and we got runners running around and all that sort of stuff. Um, I'd say, what's the allure to volunteering? Like, for anybody who has never done spotting at a tournament, like, just go do it. It's the most amazing experience when you're spotting out there. You get to see everybody, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's happy. Spotting is just the best. It's super fun, right? Like, it sounds like a drag, but it's not. And we've sort of built up this rapport between the volunteers and the players. And so the players are walking by, and without fail, every group, there's at least someone, if not all of them, are thanking the volunteer for their time,
Yeah.
and are appreciative of it. So you're getting that immediate feedback, and you get to watch a ton of golf, right? And
Mhm.
typically, if you're spotting on a hole with danger or some hard shots or whatever, and so it's always interesting, and it's feels great to run out onto the fairway and wave a green flag for an inbound shot, and maybe a sad face for a red flag. But it is a time commitment. But yeah, if anyone's never done it before for any tournament, just do it. It's so fun. It's so fun. And you guys talked about me hanging around Tournament Central and smiling and stuff all weekend, but I like to go out and spot as well. And so the last few years I've chosen to hang out on hole 1 west, so it's close to Tournament Central if I'm needed. But I'm out there spotting as well, and it's great. You get to interact with all the players as they come through, and see some great golf. I think that's the allure. That, and Brenda works her butt off to
Yeah.
to get volunteers too, right? She does an absolutely amazing job in coordinating everything. We tell players that want to volunteer, like, don't worry about your tee times. We know what your tee times are. We'll schedule around your tee times for you. If you're out there spotting and stuff, and you need to leave because your tee time is coming up and you want to prep, then just leave the flags at the tee box. Somebody will be another volunteer will be out there to replace you, so you're not in jail out there or anything like that. So we try to give the players the ultimate flexibility that they can. But yeah, I highly recommend doing spotting if you ever get the chance or ever asked. It's fun. It's really fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. The few times that I've done some spotting and helped out, it's yeah, like you said, you meet people and you're always on one of the exciting holes, like you said, with those exciting shots. So you get the best of it. You get to watch those great shots as well.
Hmm.
You kind of
Yeah.
touched on it a little bit earlier about the pro payouts, but also we know at Falcons Flight is the AM player packs. They're always a big hit as well. Did you want to shout out any of the sponsors that made that possible this year?
Yeah, a huge one this year. Every year we try to have a sort of one, big item and then fill it with some other cool stuff. And it's funny, it's one of the things as a committee that we always fight about the most every year when we're preparing, doing our prep work, months in advance and stuff. And we always fight about players packs. And this year it ended up being easy. And so we've had a long-standing relationship with Pound and Levi and the Pound team. They've always the last 4 years, I think it is, they provided us with a Pound bag. I think the first year was an Octo, the last couple have been Rufus bags. So always a huge draw for our raffle. And so this year, I can't remember who suggested it. It might have been Serge or somebody who suggested, well, what about pound fanny packs? And the whole team was like, that's a great idea. That would be amazing if Levi could do that. And so Serge reached out to Levi. Took him a few weeks to get back to us because Pound had just launched the redesigner of their new Octothorpe. And so they were dealing with, a backlog of a few months of pre-orders to work through, and so we knew they were extremely busy, and
Yeah.
and in a way, it felt like a long shot. But Levi finally got back to Serge and said, "This is a great idea." And Levi asked us what colors we wanted, and we said, "Mix it up, man. Like, use all your scraps or whatever. Just, mix it all up. Every color under the sun, kind of thing."
Yeah.
And they came through for us, and yeah, just an awesome player pack item. There was a lot of people pretty happy with them. People trading different colors, that they got in their pack with other players, which is great. Love seeing that. So yeah, just a fantastic item. And then in addition, Innova, huge sponsor, a huge partnership with us the last 2 years. They helped us last year get all new baskets in. We had
Right.
Innova 24 chain disc catchers that were out there for almost 15 years. And so that's something that we wanted to do for a long time. And so Innova helped us out with that last year. And then again this year with awesome player pack discs. And we set them up on tables so people can choose as they're picking up their player packs what disc they want. And, just amazing plastic, right? All the iodine stuff and
Yeah.
halo plastic. And yeah, it looked really sharp. So Innova was a huge one, and they also gave us a lot of tents and flags to make the course look beautiful and everything else. So that was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
We threw in some pins. Oh, what else do we throw in there? Oh, towel.
Yeah.
Which
Got the
yeah,
towel.
the towel was a
Oh
good one.
yeah,
I don't have it.
I've got one
I don't
right
know if. Oh,
here.
okay. There
Let
you
me
go. Yeah, hold that up for everybody. Yeah.
look at that.
So we got
Yeah. So
that.
And it's
Jordan.
double-sided. Yeah.
Yeah, so Jordan Alway took that picture last year at last year's Falcons Flight, and we had Northern Lights, and so those are Northern Lights that you see there. It was a
Right.
nighttime shot with Northern Lights. Yeah, so
Yeah.
so that was really cool that we got onto Innova's towel this year, and so yeah, we gave away the towel to everybody too, which was awesome.
Well, it's probably a good time for me to announce it too, there, Don, was that one of the things I like to do with my players pack, especially with really big ones like this, is I usually try to find something in the pack that I can give away, maybe one of the discs. And we do that a lot of the times.
Yeah.
But this time here, I think we're going to make someone really happy with this towel because it's a huge towel. It's got that beautiful design on it. And this is one of the prizes that we are going to be giving away. So we'll get that posted up and get that into one of our listeners' hands. So.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and I'd like to throw in another prize for you guys, and I don't have mine here to show it off, but anyways, I'd like to donate a pound fanny pack for a giveaway as well. So
Wow.
so you guys let us know who won, and I'll get that shipped off. But yeah, we'll throw in a pound fanny pack too.
That's
That's
amazing. Yeah,
fantastic.
thank
Yeah.
you.
No, we appreciate that. And you'd mentioned about those fanny packs, like it's pound. So they're made so amazing. And all of those variety colors were funny because you'd have someone open their bag and it was like opening up a Christmas present, not knowing what you'd get.
Right.
And there were like when Don says every color you could imagine, it was every color. Like there were some that were neon, like 80s colors and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that, workout gear. And it's funny because Limber Disc Golf just this year had done the hats
Yeah.
like this one, and the
Yep.
jerseys looked just the same. So I would see that and I'd say, "Hey, I saw a guy over there wearing the Limber jersey. Go see him. He'd
Go
probably swap with you." Yeah, it was awesome. Well, Don, as we get kind of towards the end and we start wrapping up a little bit, you mentioned some of the volunteers and the people who help make Falcons happen. And I know it's impossible to name everybody, but we did want to give you a bit of time. First off, just to thank anybody else on the volunteer team or shout them out if you wanted to. And anybody listening, if you didn't hear your name, it's not because you're not appreciated. It's only because we don't have enough time to name everybody involved.
Exactly.
Yeah, now you're putting me on the spot. I'm trying to remember all of our committee members, but so I mentioned Carrie, Jordan, Serge, Brenda, Alex Penny, Alex, my daughter, Kevin Rutt did a huge amount this year. He ran the camping and parking for everybody. Neil Stewart. Oh boy. Yeah, see, now I'm embarrassed.
You're doing good. That's a lot of names.
Oh, there's about five more that I'm forgetting, and I'm gonna get obviously Chrissy and Amanda, Becca, their half sisters on the team, Pam, Seabrook,
3 more to go.
gosh, who else? Oh man. You know, I will say like our volunteers, you know, one of the hardest things being a TD for this thing is managing the team, and I don't mean that in a negative way at all. You know, when you got a team of brilliant people like this, you know, they're experts at what they do. You know, like what Brenda does with the volunteers. You know, if I was the volunteer coordinator, I'd probably do things a lot differently than Brenda did, and no way near as good, right? Um, um, Jordan likes things a certain way. He does all the signage on the courses and everything, so that's
Yeah.
his baby. He's the boss of that, right? And so, you know, sometimes we get into conflicts. You know, we're not unlike a family. You know, our team. And it's just because everyone's just so brilliant at what they do, and they're experts at what they do. And so, you know, my job is to kind of just, you know, make sure everyone's getting along, and we get along great. But every now and then there's a little disagreement with something, and you know, that's because the you know, dealing with, you know, five, six experienced TDs that run their own events maybe different ways than we run them here, and different opinions and stuff. But you know, it's part of what makes us awesome. It really does, right? So
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well said. Very well said.
Yeah. Well, we know some TDs when they finish an event, some of the things they think about is they think about maybe sending out like a feedback form or some sort of, you know, getting some feedback from the players or people that attended the event. Have you had any immediate feedback about how the event went this year, or is there any feedback that you wanted to address?
yeah, nothing but awesome, really. I haven't heard of any sort of negative things this year. Like it really went super smooth. Um, We will be sending out, so Carrie does a really good job with TCO, with
Right.
reaching out to the players and getting a survey, and then she takes that back to tourism Kamloops and uses some of that data to, you know, get support from the municipality and stuff. And
Yeah.
honestly, we've done kind of a poor job of that, but Brenda's been talking to Carrie, and so we are going to get a survey out this year. So really looking forward to feedback. Feedback I would be interested in is I'd love to hear from the ladies. Um, you know, when Rudy designed these courses, they were, you know, long holes and stuff. And for the first couple years, we just adjusted pars for the ladies and some of the AM divisions, but didn't really
Hmm.
change anything to make it more appropriate. And so we started to make some changes to some of the holes to make them more appropriate for the ladies and for some of our AM and junior divisions and stuff. And
Right.
I think we still got a lot of work to do there. And so I'd love to get some feedback from the ladies on that. What else? Oh, I did want to give Gabby an apology during our during the awards ceremony. Somebody had mentioned to me just before I started, it's like, oh, Gabby's really been looking for an A-tier win, and she must be so happy about this. And I thought, geez, that's a great soundbite, but it felt a little bit weird. And then, anyways, so I announced, oh, her first A-tier win or something to that effect, which it wasn't, because if
No.
I would have looked at the women's trophy, I would have saw that she had won Falcons Flight 2 years ago. So my apologies to Gabby on that, obviously. But yeah, I haven't heard any other feedback other than, like I say, the best compliment um, that I've gotten is when people say this is their favorite tournament, and
Yeah.
I heard that quite a few times. And to me, that encompasses everything. I've never believed in, being the best, because how do you measure the best? Is that the biggest
Right.
field, or the biggest payout, or the best player pack, or it's best is an impossible thing to measure. But when somebody says that this is their favorite tournament, that's the best compliment that I could receive.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Well, you know what, too, Don, I think we could do here, because Gabby is coming on next. I don't know if she's sitting there ready. We'll bring her in right away there, because I'm sure she's more than or do you have two set up? Do you have a two split? I forget that I got the technical guy here.
yeah.
Because I'm sure she's totally okay with that. But we noticed that too, right? She had won a couple of years ago there.
We're gonna have to give me a second to fix things here, Jeremy.
Oh, that's okay. We'll do that.
We can do that in a
But
second.
as we're going to, Don, what we should get to as well is there is some other big news, because you've been taking care of this tournament as the tournament director position for the past 5 years. But when we get to Falcons Flight 17, there might be a change. Do you want to talk about what you're going to be doing next?
Yeah, so I'm retiring as tournament director for Falcons Flight. I'm still going to be heavily involved in Falcons Flight 17 and all the Falcons flights to come. For those of you don't know, I'm also the president of the Aspen Meadows Disc Golf Club, and we've got a lot of work to do on the club side. And so it's always been hard to do both really, really well, and honestly, Falcons Flight has gotten most of my attention. And on the club side, we've got a rezoning we need to do with the county, which involves an environmental assessment by a professional biologist, and a pile of money to do that study, as well as the application with the county to go through the rezoning and public hearings and all that sort of stuff. And so, that's really important work that needs to happen to preserve Rudy's legacy. The land is currently zoned as agricultural, and we've been working with the county, and they recommend us we rezone it to recreational. And so once we do that, then the land is protected; it can't be developed on, and that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
So that's been sort of bugging me a little for the last couple years, not being able to give that its proper attention. So I'll be stepping down as TD. We're not ready to make an announcement yet on who the next TD is, but I can tell you, next year, like we always sort of build on what we've learned every year, and next year is going to be no different. We've got an amazing team. I mentioned some of those names that a lot of your viewers have heard before. It's kind of an embarrassment of riches, in some ways, of the team that we got and the experience that we have. And so I'm not worried about next year at all. I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, and maybe a new TD is going to bring some, new ideas and things to make it every better. And that's just been our goal, is to make every year just a little bit better than the last, and not try to take off more than we can chew, right? So.
Yeah.
Yeah, you bet. Well, that's awesome. We appreciate with you too is doing all the work that you have. And it's good to know that you're still going to be working with the team and pushing things forward. And it's kind of one of those things, is probably like you hear with the Godfather, it's like you're not getting out, right? Like you try to get out and they just keep pulling you back in, right?
Yeah, not possible. I'm not getting out at all. Yeah.
Yeah. And you don't want out either. So that's great. Well, you know
No,
what?
no, exactly.
Well, Don, we appreciate it. I had such a great time there. We've got Gabby waiting in the wings, and Nick's going to come on right after that. So, thank you so much for joining us. It is a bucket list event, and
For
if you
sure.
haven't played this event, you really got to get out there and try to get in. I know it's hard to
And
get in, but what
yeah,
would you suggest,
well,
Daryl?
I played the event last year. That was our first time going down. We went down together, and everybody was like, "It's not just an event that you go and play. It's not just a Canadian A tier. Everybody says it's like the disc golf festival. It's like the disc golf mecca that
Mhm.
everybody wants to go to, and it's more than just the event itself. Definitely this year, checking out all the posts on Instagram that I think Jordan or whoever was posting for the Aspen Meadows Instagram, checking in, watching PDGA live, watching all the scores and things like that. There was definitely a little bit of fear of missing out from my side. So it'll definitely be, it's definitely at the top of my list to schedule in for next year for sure.
Yeah, get in early. Your best chance would be during the whole sponsor registration tier. You maybe got a couple minutes to get in. When general opens up this year, the AMs were done in 30 seconds. It was just crazy. So
Right.
yeah, we recognize the demand. We appreciate everyone's frustration that aren't able to get in every year. We hear you, but yeah, it's a special one, and so we look at the demand as we're doing something right, and so we
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Yeah,
exactly.
for sure. Well, that's awesome. We
Yeah.
appreciate you and all the volunteers. Thanks a lot, Don, and I'm sure we'll be in touch soon. If you have anything with Falcons or Aspen you want us to shout out throughout the year, just reach out and we'll be sure to get that information out there.
You bet. Appreciate all that you guys do, and I'm happy to be on the show. So thank you so much.
You're
Perfect.
welcome.
Thanks for your time, Don.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Daryl. We
Yeah.
That's great. I love talking to Don. And as you can see, like I said, he's even happy just chatting with us. He's happy like that all weekend long. Great person to have leading an event like that, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know how he does it under all that pressure, but I guess it's the
That's
the volunteers, right?
that's the 30 years of experience of playing disc golf and running events.
For sure. Well, our next guest has been busy this year on the FPO scene. She put together her own tour, playing 15 tournaments so far throughout Canada and the US, including one major, 9 A tiers, 2 B tiers, and 3 C tiers. Out of those tournaments, she won 5 of them. She won Falcons Flight 14 in 2023, as we talked about,
Yeah.
and did it again this year, winning Falcons Flight 16. Join us in welcoming Gabby Lee back to the show. Hey.
Hey,
Hey
Gabby.
everyone.
How are you doing, Gabby?
I'm well. How are you? Can you hear me okay?
Oh, we can always hear you fine. You're the epitome of our perfect audio for a guest.
Oh, that's very kind. Yeah, first, I just want to shout out to Don. I'm far too nervous going up there to kind of really absorb everything that's going on, so I didn't even notice that he said anything about first aid here. So you are absolved of everything, Don.
Well, he's still back there in the green room
Yeah,
having
he's
some
laughing.
M&Ms and
Yeah.
he's laughing. So,
Yeah.
well, we mentioned in the introduction there, Gabby, that you put together your own tour this year. And we even had a chance to chat with you while you were on the road during one of our Around the Basket episodes. How did the Gabby and Sylv tour go?
Oh my gosh. I was like coming into this, I was trying to think of like where we connected, and I think it was like pretty early on in that little mini tour. So
Yeah.
what Sylv and I had done was just like, well, we have our van, let's go and just be somewhere warm. So we picked a bunch of A tiers that were around California and Vegas, and it was a lot of fun. I would say everything but the disc golf kind of lived up to the expectations in the sense that, we set all this time aside to go play and perform and do all that. And, I think I set my expectations a little too high, or, I got a little too involved with the outcome of the events. And I mean, I would do it all again, honestly. If you told me, Kate, you're going and you're playing these events and you're not going to win a single one of them, you're going to play under your rating, I would 100% do it all over again. It was really just extremely grateful that I had that opportunity and that I could kind of put myself out there, try something new, and step out of my comfort zone.
Oh,
Yeah. No, that's fantastic. I mean, it sounds like a dream, right? To be able to
mhm.
schedule a tour like that.
And down that West Coast with
Yeah.
all the redwoods and
Oh,
California and all of that. So,
Yeah.
my favorite part coming up through the redwoods, just coming back. So we'll spend a little more time there next time, I think. Maybe not next year, but next time we go down there.
Yeah,
Good.
sure. Well, bringing it back to a little bit more recently, this past weekend, as we said, you picked up your your second Falcons Flight win. Thanks, Don. Congratulations on congratulations on that. You've had a number
Thank
of
you.
wins
Thank
this
you.
year already. When you look back at the season as a whole, if you look back at it, where would you say this rank wins?
This win
Number
ranks,
one.
maybe?
What
Yeah.
did I say?
Yeah.
Did,
That's good. Yeah.
did I say it
Yeah,
right? Yeah, yeah.
I got what you're putting down.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
I, Number one, I have to tell you, and I have to make sure that everyone's aware that I did play a couple of tournaments where I was the only one signed up. So you'll see a few number ones on there, and it was just because I was the only one who was there. So this one absolutely ranks on top. Kind of being the first, it was the first A tier I'd ever won a couple years ago. It was my first A tier defense that I'd lost. So to come back to this event and win, while not like in my expectations, given how I was trending and what my mindset was coming into this. I put maybe unfairly a lot onto this tournament in terms of like what it means to me. So yeah, it's very, very special to come away with the win for sure.
Yeah, that's excellent. And then when we look at the cards and the divisions that you had there, we've seen that there was a full FPO division, 8 players, 2 full cards. You got to
Yeah.
play with some familiar names that are not only familiar to us, but obviously people that you've played with a lot before as well. After being down on that US tour that you mentioned, was it nice to get back to Alberta and play with some friendly FPO names again?
Definitely, definitely. I met so many lovely women and like stellar competitors down in the States. But I'd say ever since BC Open coming back and having my first tournament back in Canada, it was like, oh, I missed this. I miss my community. I miss the women I get to play with regularly. I miss the people that I get to hang out with after the tournaments. So yeah, no, they're amazing, and I would prefer it hands down.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Well, Gabby, I had a chance to follow your card for a few holes over the weekend and just loved seeing the fun and the camaraderie of the FPO cards, as we always talk about. And whether it was celebrating Joe Henderson's successful playthrough on hole 6 East after last year's accident, or whether it was cheering Terry on when she cleared hole 8's OB after a couple tries on it. Those were some highlights for me. What were some moments from you over the weekend, or was there anything that really stuck out from you from any of the rounds?
Oh gosh. It's funny. I kind of landmarked that, you know, this is where Joe had her accident last year. So
Yeah.
she couldn't play from this point on. And I'd landmarked that and we got past that. And I was like, yes, excellent, amazing. I mean, Jesse Prado Smith's, Dr. Jesse Prado Smith's ace was a highlight. It was the first time I'd witnessed a tournament ace. I got to
Right.
sign the disc and celebrate. I mean, out of her hand, I was like, it looks good.
Yeah.
But no, I'd say like I got to play a practice round with Amber. I hadn't played with Joe since last year. Like a lot of these women haven't played with all year. And I think the thing that stood out the most is just the progress that all of them have made. And, I know results may not show, or, results may not have been what they wanted, but I think, just from an outsider, and it's so easy from the outside, looking on, it was just incredible to watch the difference from last year, just in terms of like, I remember a forehand being like, oh yeah, I was gonna approach forehand, and Amber's throwing full drives with her forehand and they're just launching out there. I mean, same with Joe. She had these forehand approaches that were just like, that went like super far. And, Terry as well, that I got to play with. Jessie, who, I think the last time I got to play with her was Falcons Flight 2 years ago.
Right.
So I think that stood out to me the most, is just the progress that everyone's made. And it is just so awesome to watch.
Yeah. And it's great to hear your highlights from the year. Amber is actually in the chat, and she just kind of wanted to say that the moose came back this year as well. So I know there was a,
Yes.
I know that, Yeah, I remember hearing about that last year. So that's good to see that the Moose hasn't forgot that it's that weekend that he needs to show up.
Yeah. It wasn't standing behind a basket this time that I was putting at, which I'm extremely grateful for.
So, although Jeremy got a chance to go down there and witness some of your rounds, I know me and some of our listeners were watching on PDGA Live. So, if you permit us, we'd like to just give you a quick recap of the rounds, and then you can talk us through a little bit about that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So round one started out Aspen Meadows East, and you were on a card with Joe Henderson, Dr. Jesse Prado Smith, and Terry Hong. And for those that don't know, the East course we would consider probably the tougher of the two courses. You managed to score the hot round with a +1, carding 4 birdies, 10 pars, 3 bogeys, and just 1 double. And that round was rated 947. 3 of your birdies came in the last 5 holes, including one on hole 18. Can you tell us a little bit about that hole 18 and how you managed to get that birdie?
Hole 18. Ooh, it was cool. I threw a relay off the tee. The goal was just to throw it straight. I'd come in with a little bit of, past year trauma, so to speak. I think I doubled that hole twice last year, and I was like, my only goal is just to throw it straight and not early release it into the left and have to come out of that. So I released it and it was fine. It was going straight. It was going a little left, and it was kind of coming up to the crest before it goes downhill. And I said, do something cool. And it bounced kind of between 2 trees and like anti-skipped towards the basket, which allowed me a kind of relatively stress-free birdie putt. So it was, yeah, I think looking back on that round, my finish on that round was, I was very happy with it.
Yeah, for sure. That's what we had. I was going to ask you. At that point, you had to be feeling pretty good with a great start to the round, hey? Or the tournament.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't look at scores. I had Sylv with me. I kind of gave him my game plan ahead of time, saying like, I don't want to know scores. My only goal or my only expectations for this weekend is that I'm following my process. I'm doing my thing. I am not going to worry about outcomes. I'm just going to play my game as best as I can. And I honestly, like based on the start of the round, I don't know, the double bogey that I got, the few bogeys that I got, I came out of it being like, oh, that was like pretty beige or like not exciting. So when I'd seen the result at the end of the round, I was actually quite surprised at where I was sitting. So it was like, oh, it's a bit of a shock, but obviously very happy with it.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that birdie on 18 is so good in the fact that what people may not know is that there's the triple mando,
Yeah.
and it's not a triple mando drop zone. It's a triple mando play it again if you miss.
Right.
Play it again if you miss. Play it again if you miss. And a few people did that over the weekend. So first goal is get through the mando,
Yeah.
but then to get that skip and be right down there for the birdie. Yeah, fantastic. Well, we're going to get to round 2. I'm going to try to do this as easy as I can. Okay, Gabby? So
It's okay.
round 2.
I've
Are you
come to
okay?
terms with it. Yeah.
Okay, well, you head over to the West Course on a card with Joe and Jesse from the previous day, and now Amber Chason has moved up to lead card to join you. Now, this round doesn't quite start or end the way you might have wanted. When the dust settles, you finish with a +6. Joe Henderson shot an even round and managed to take the lead by 2 strokes. But looking at there, which you may not have noticed at the time, you had a great stretch between holes 3 to 11 where you had 8 pars and 1 birdie. So you just had a string of good holes all in a row. Tell us a little bit about your thoughts on this round.
Oh, that round. The first couple holes, I think it was a bogey or bogey double. I I came off the tee. I am throwing forehands off the tee, and it was just like, it's okay. It happened. I went OB, or I wasn't where I needed to be, or I kicked OB there, and I was like, that's okay. I did the shot that I wanted to do, and that's just what happened.
Mhm.
And then, like you said, kind of in the middle, things stayed okay. I was fine. Again, things felt just very unexciting, which I'm more than happy with. But I'll admit, closer to the end of the round, I got really frustrated. I was missing short putts. I think that was the main thing. I made a few not great decisions, especially down the stretch of the par 5. I forget the whole number of it,
It's,
and
I
just kind
believe
of
it
ended up in the
12.
tree line. yeah, I just ended up in the tree line a few times, like a few too many times. And at one point, Sylv kind of checked in on me and he said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "No, I'm not
Mm,
okay." I was frustrated, and I felt frustrated that I was feeling frustrated, and like, you know, the the tears started to well up, and like I don't love that, and I was frustrated that I was tearing up, like, I wanted so badly to kind of resettle into that kind of calm feeling that I felt in round one, and
mhm.
I couldn't get there. I couldn't get myself back there, and I maybe spiraled a bit, or I just kind of didn't trust myself to be able to stick to my game plan. And yeah, I was a little upset. I was upset after the round, but again, shocked to see that I was still in second place
Yes.
when I finished, because I'd felt like I'd lost my lead, and that was something that within the first two holes I recognized. I was like, well, there goes my four-stroke lead, or through three-stroke lead, or however many it was, and I was like, I thought I'd come to terms with that very quickly at the start of the round, but I do think throughout the round I was very conscious that I was letting go of an opportunity, to kind of get this tournament back, or to kind of get the win. And yeah, I got really frustrated, and I was sad.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for
Actually,
sharing, and we
Jeremy, I think
always
you were
appreciate.
there, and you were there to comfort me, and I like, you saw the tears actually, and I was just like, yeah, I'm just really frustrated.
That's what I said to Daryl as I was writing it up. Is it okay if I just skip a round recap on one of these?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
well,
I think you said it took you like 30 minutes to phrase and word that question because you're like,
I don't know.
you know what happens. So
Yeah.
it's hard to,
Well, but the one
yeah.
thing was, Gabby, is I got a chance to walk and talk a little bit with Sylv as well. And the two of you make such a great team. And he just seems like that very good calming presence as well. So
Yeah.
that's good. You got through round two. Let's get behind that and let's move to round three, Daryl.
Yeah, exactly. Let's quickly move on to round three. So round three, it's you, Joe, Jesse, and Amber on the same card again for the back on the East course. The card starts out with all four players gaining and losing strokes, and then we talked about it. You get to hole four.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us exactly what happened on hole four?
Yeah.
Oh, hole four. I loved hole four. Oh gosh, what was the teeing order? I think I forget if I teed off first. I teed off first or second. My drive was not great. I early released a standstill range shot that kind of went left into the trees, and it was, I went into that round being like, whatever happens, happens today. And I felt more settled in that round. I was like, it's okay, whatever happened, happened, and it happened. And Jessie teed off, and like right out of her hand, I was like, yeah, that looks fantastic. And it just like clean, dead center, chains, ace, first
Nice.
witness ace that I'd seen. And it was so exciting, like so exciting. I was so grateful that I didn't tee off after her, because I don't know if I would have been able to be like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to follow it up. And yeah, so that was a highlight, because I'd never seen an ace in tournament. And right after, she's like, I didn't even join the ace pot. We're like, no. And I was like, well, the alternative is being like me and join the ace pot once, and then never feeling like you cannot join the ace pot again, in fear of
Yeah.
finally getting that ace. So,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah. Well,
very happy for her.
although Jesse did get that ace, you were keeping it clean, scoring 7 pars and 1 birdie on that front nine, while the other players on the card were more bogeys and pars as well. You managed to take the lead going into hole eight, or on hole eight, but at that time it was a three-way battle all the way to the finish, with you, Joe, and Jesse 1-2 strokes away from tying it up as well. You hang on to the end, finishing with a plus 11 overall and winning it by 1 shot over Jesse. Now, if we remember right, you're not. Well, we said this earlier, that you're not one that checks scores. So, did you realize it was that close in that final round? I know your partner, like we mentioned, Sylv caddies for you. Was he keeping an eye? Was he able to keep it to himself, or was there a point where, in that final round, obviously rounds 1 and 2, maybe a little bit different, doesn't want to give anything away, but when it's coming into that final round, how does that normally work in that dynamic?
Yeah, no, it's funny, on hole 10, I carded another double bogey. And I actually asked him, I was like, I don't know what's going on, but am I okay? And he said, just do your thing. Like, don't worry about it. Like, you're fine. And that's what he always tells me. And I was like, and he's like, what? Well, what do you want me to tell you in these cases? Like, very
Yeah.
like, calmly and like very nicely. And I just said, well, I guess, yeah, I just kind of do want to hear that I'm doing okay. So he told me I was okay, and I was okay. Um, I think I realized something was happening when people started showing up. Um, Miguel showed up, I think shortly after hole 10, um, 10, 11, I think on hole 12. And I was like, oh, that's lovely. Miguel's here. Like, he's a
Mm.
great guy. He's a friend. Like, of course he's here. Like, it's
Yeah.
just something he'd do. And then Nick Culver showed up, I think maybe a hole later, or maybe even on that hole partway down. And I was like, of course he's here. He's flown in from Georgia. He just wants to see a friend. And then more people started showing up, and I was like, okay, I think something. I still think I'm in this. Because then I think like maybe like 4 or 5 more people showed up, and I was like, oh gosh, like this, yeah, something's going on. Um, and then for the rest of it, yeah, I think I just did my thing. I had a couple good holes. 17, I got a bogey after missing one of my waffle putts. I played the hole really well. I think I got myself to 15 feet. And in my kind of like fear state, I like, it's a waffle's fine. And I missed it. I hit the cage, and I was like, oh gosh, this is embarrassing. I just missed like a 15 footer with a waffle going into the last hole. And at that point, I was like, okay, so like, how are things going? And he's just says, yep, just one shot at a time here. And of course, at that point, I'm starting to like catastrophize, or starting to like think of other things that are going on. I was like, is he just telling me one shot at a time because there could be a playoff? Like, is there more
Mm.
to this hole that could happen? And he's like, nope, just smooth up the middle. Do your thing. I threw my shot, made the Mando, got myself to the tree line, and I had this like Annie putt approach, semi obstructed. It's a shot I'm kind of nervous about, that Annie, because in my nerves, I can like tend to over pull it and hit a tree that I'm trying not to hit.
Yeah.
And I undercommit, and I end up about 20 feet away. Um, and yeah, I said, so like, do I need to make this putt? He's like, yeah, go for it. It's okay. I need to make this putt. And it's somebody's afterwards was like, yeah, you made like a 20 footer. Like, that was huge. And it's interesting because like I stepped up to it, and it felt so much closer. And in hindsight, that was like quite a moment, because it's a putt that I had been nervous about all weekend long. And in that moment, I was just focused on my processes. Like, on this putt specifically, especially this last hole of this tournament, I'm gonna open up my hand at the basket. And I don't think it was the prettiest putt. It was a little low left. But it went in, and I turned around, Sylv was filming, and I said, like, is that it? And I said, yeah. So I need to get myself to a point where I can like be a little more clutch, knowing what's going on. But no, I'm extremely grateful that he was there and just able to like remind me of what I was trying to do. And it was just one shot at a time, just reminding me of my process and my cues. And yeah, it was very special. Got very emotional. It was
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, just for the fact that you said that everybody was kind of showing up, to watch on that final round, that card. And, I wish I would have been there to watch it as well. But then you saying that Silver's there to try and keep you balanced, but then you see all these people watching you as well. Like, it sounds like it must have been exhausting. From If it was me, like, all those things would have been playing around in my mind, and I don't know if I would have been able to stay focused. So all the credit for you, just to try and blank out the noise and just focus on what you had to do, and you did it, and that was fantastic.
Thank you. And that's yeah, I'm very proud of myself for that. It was something that I like really wanted to do for myself this weekend, was to be able to just be in my element and stay focused and give myself the best opportunity to, yeah, execute in like a calm state. And I'm really proud of being able to do that, especially after day 2, where I really felt myself fall off that train. And I don't know, I'm early in my kind of like new approach to like my mental game, and that I didn't know it was going to happen on day 3. But no, I'm very, very proud of myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it was fantastic, Gabby. Another fantastic thing about it too was on Sunday there, as you started to see those people show up, and Miguel shows up and he's wearing a Gabby Lee jersey, and then Daisy shows up and she's got a Gabby Lee jersey on, and then you've got your Gabby Lee jersey on.
Yeah.
It was awesome to
I'm wearing
see.
mine. Yeah.
Yeah, it was to see the Gabby Lee team and representing. It was fantastic. It was really cool, and of course we should all plug Cardinal there too. So it's a great Cardinal jersey that you're wearing as well. So. No, but
I'm so grateful. I really felt the love that day.
yeah. No, it's fantastic. And Nich has been super patient, and we're going to get to him too. But what we want to do is, before we let you go, we want to give you a chance if you want to shout out your sponsors or anyone else, or if there's anything that we kind of missed there that you wanted to bring up, that now would be the time for that.
No, I mean, shout out to MVP Disc Sports, Cardinal, Death Putt Disc Dies, kind of sticking in and supporting me this whole season because, yeah, it's been a roller coaster of a season, but no, super grateful.
Yeah.
I also just kind of wanted to shout out Christy Lee, a fellow Islander who won her FPO division and beat all of FPOs, but she had a stellar weekend. And yeah, of course, to my husband, I don't know, he was instrumental to me this weekend, carried my bag, carried my emotions and all that stuff. Yeah, to my like little disc golf community too. I feel like Falcons Flight really is my favorite event of the year, purely because of the way it brings people together and brings like my little group of people together that we camped out. We, supported each other before and after rounds. Yeah, it's always something special, and yeah, just so much love to them and to you guys too, because you guys were there. Jeremy showed up and I was just like, it's Jeremy. uh, yeah, no, it was a fun weekend. I'll never forget that. But yeah, thanks for having me on. And never worry about asking me about the tough rounds. I'm always more than willing to talk about them. I think they're just as important.
You bet.
Yeah,
No.
absolutely.
And then we're always
the good ones.
We're always happy that you're able to share, because a lot of people, and we're even seeing it in the comments, that they can relate and they appreciate it for sure. And I think you mentioned a lot of the sponsors and stuff, Gabby, but we should also say is that you still have some discs left as well. You've got some Craves and some other discs with the awesome bunny stamp on there. So if anybody wants them, they should reach out to you as well, because I picked up another Crave. I can always use another Crave. So
yeah, Craves, Envies, Proxies, all glow. If you want one, just shout me out. I'll ship one to you.
fantastic.
Well, I will say that every time you pull out your Gabby Lee detour, I know your bag now. I know which disc you're going to throw on which hole pretty much when we play.
Yeah.
And you always say that when you throw that detour, it always goes where you want it to go, and it always throws the perfect shot because you've always got Gabby's signature on it, and it's always got a bit of Gabby on the course when you're out there playing. So I know he really throws your discs and he loves them.
So
I appreciate it so much. That's very kind. Thank you.
awesome. Well, thanks, Gabby. So great to see you. We'll love to talk to you again in the future, and hopefully it's not so long.
No, I'd love to. Thanks so much for having me on. This is my favorite thing, and I love you guys so much. So thank you, and thanks for everyone who came to watch too. I appreciate you all.
Awesome.
Thanks, Gabby. Thanks for your time. We will talk to you again soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
I think everybody, even the people in the green room, were loving that as much as we were. Hey.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. How could you not?
Exactly. Well, do you want to
Love it
get
when we have Gabby on the show?
Oh, for sure, all the time.
I will. Just give me 1 second. There we go. We're good. So our next guest has been on our radar for quite a while now. We first learned his name when he won the Mexican Disc Golf Championships last year in a playoff over Kevin Jones.
Wow.
Yeah. Although his PDGA says he is from the US, he spent some time over the past year in Canada hanging out with friend of the show, Miguel Alvarado. He just won his first A tier of 2025 at the Falcons Flight over the weekend. Let's welcome Nich Culver to the podcast. Hey, how are you doing?
Good. How's the audio? Is it okay?
Can you just tap your microphone? Because I'm not sure you're connected to that microphone. No, you're not connected to that. You're still on your laptop microphone. But that's okay. We can roll with the punches. You can try and fix that as well.
Yeah, we've got Gabby Lee already putting a big yay, Nich, in the comments there. Excited to see your face again.
Is this better?
Oh, that's 100% better. Perfect. Now we're cooking on gas.
Well, Nick,
Nice.
when we talk about Falcons Flight, I should have known better when I planned all the times and asked everybody when they come on, is that we could talk about Falcons Flight all night long, and we kind of are. So we appreciate your patience and hanging in there, and Gabby's as well, because it is a tournament that we could talk about forever, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, very special event. I actually was watching Gabby's part of the interview, and it was cool to watch. Watch her perspective on the event, because I did get to watch part of her second round and third round, and it was enjoyable to just even watch her.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Nick, congratulations on your big win at Falcons Flight over the weekend. And you had mentioned in your victory speech that you'd flown up from Georgia just to play at Falcons Flight. Have you headed back down, or where are you joining us from tonight?
I'm in Georgia right now. I did fly back that night.
Oh, wow.
It was quite an adventure. It was an overnight flight, so I had to get back to get some work done. But yeah, like you said, like Falcons Flight is a very special event, and I had the opportunity to fly up there. It worked out. Miguel and Daisy picked me up, and big thanks to them. We had planned it months ago. He texted me, or I texted him, and I was like, I don't remember what happened actually, but we've talked about it months ago, and I was like, hey, can you pick me up? Like, I want to come. I packed a tent in my suitcase and everything, so I wasn't going to have to buy a tent there. And it ended up working out really well.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah, we know Miguel. We've spoken to him before. He's a great guy. We know you've hung out with him as well, so obviously you're close friends. How did you first meet Miguel?
One of the duck golfs we played together, and I think maybe in Mary's farm on the island was the first time. No, the first time I met him was at Pride Vista Disc Golf course at a duck golf, and then we played together for the first time at Mary's farm, and he was like, I don't know, he was like playing mind games with me. Well, as we're playing, and I was like, I'm not playing these games, man. Like, I'm here to play disc golf. And then, like, the second I didn't reciprocate, he was like, okay, I get it. And ever since then, it was like our relationship has kind of blossomed into something that, like, we can reach out at any time and chat with each other. And we've traveled together, and it's in camp together at multiple events, and cooked meals together, and just like gotten to know each other. And it's just been through disc golf, like, Miguel has become a very close friend of mine, and like, honestly, I'm super grateful for the guy. He's a wonderful human being.
Oh yeah, for sure. We would say the same. And going back to when you won the Mexican Disc Golf Championship, I remember watching the coverage. One of the first people to run in onto the green to celebrate with you was Miguel. So like you said, you've been everywhere with him, and he's, I didn't know too much about the mind games, because whenever we see him, he's always the positive person on the card. He keeps the energy up. He's always a super positive guy. But now we know a little bit more about that. Maybe he's got a little bit of a different side to him.
I don't think he does it anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, he definitely did it to me, though. He is very positive, and I'm not throwing any shade at him for those mind games, because it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think he does it anymore. He does bring positive energy to the card. I was really hoping we get to play together at Falcons Flight. It didn't work out, but I think we're going to travel to Mexico together in December. So hopefully we can get some tournament rounds together in Mexico.
Yeah. Well, one last thing on Miguel with that too is that when we had Andre Lauder on last week and we were picking for Falcons Flight, I think I set the over under of how was it like 10 seconds that it would be for Miguel to see him and give him a hug.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, it's always the under. He's like 10 seconds. As soon as Miguel sees you, he's coming out arms wide open, ready to give you a hug. So
yeah. So if we get back to this week, get back to this weekend, we noticed that there were 60 players in the MPO field. That seems like a pretty big field for a Canadian event. Did that larger field allow you to play with some new to you players? You mentioned that you didn't get a chance to play with Miguel.
I believe. The first round, I think I might have played with one new player. No, I knew everyone round one. I played with 3 new players round 2, and I played with 1 new player round 3. So I got to play with 4 new people,
Right.
and also kind of like um, play with people I had forgotten that I played with, and then
Mhm.
like I was like, oh man, I remember your game. Like this is
Right.
cool to see how you've developed because I haven't seen you play since a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's always yeah, we always wonder about that too, because like for us as playing in the MA40 division, we also start to get to see the same players as we tour around, and it's always interesting to see a new friend or meet a new friend or see a person that you played with last year, that kind of thing. So it's kind of nice because I know sometimes on the FPO side, it's great that they have a really good camaraderie together because they are going to see each other almost every single tournament. So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that aspect a lot. Like seeing the same faces is awesome, seeing new faces is awesome, but like through those multiple rounds is when you start to get to know people and know their games, and that's when you can like really learn from them, I guess. And I back to Miguel, like that's how we became friends, is playing multiple rounds together.
Yeah, always battling in a friendly way for
Yeah.
sure. Well,
Very
speaking
much
of
so.
yeah, and speaking of battling in that, we want to get through. We did this with Gabby, and we like to do it with you as well. What we do is we kind of take PDGA live, do a quick summary of your round, so our listeners and everyone can hear about what was happening in each round, and then we ask you a couple questions. So if we can do that, I'll get Daryl to start with round one.
Yeah, let's get started
Sure.
on that round one. So you started out on the East course, which can be a beast from the longer tees. You had some bogeys, birdies, some pars, and by the end of it all, you finished even. That put you tied for 12th with 8 other players and 7 strokes back from the lead. So you want to let us know how you felt about that first round?
Man, I putted so bad. I putted really bad. I think I went 0 for 3 from circle 2, and I missed 5 or 6 C1 putts. So I was like throwing really good. But I like felt really bad, but my whole goal was like to enjoy my time with my friends. So like I didn't take it. I recovered pretty well. Like I didn't
Mhm.
stew on it. I didn't feel good. Like it's never fun missing 12-foot putts, and I missed like 2 12-footers, like
Mm,
bad. Um, but I was happy with how I threw. I enjoyed my card mates. None of us really. It was a weird card. Like we all kind of had some great golf, and then some not so like the opposite of great, like
Right.
really terrible golf. Um, and yeah, it felt bad. Throwing felt like I was throwing really good. And then like mentally, I was like, oh well, seven is doable. Like in my head, I think I even told someone that I was like, being 7 back is like not too bad. Any more than that, and it's like really unlikely that I could get it done.
yeah.
Yeah. And that what I wanted to ask you is being 7 strokes back going in with 2 more rounds to go, are you worried that it may be difficult to come back from, or do you have the mindset of that round is done, you've still got 2 rounds ahead of you and anything is possible?
Yeah, definitely more so. I have 2 rounds ahead of me to score,
Right.
and like I'm not focused on trying to get the win at that point. It's
Mhm.
more so like I came up here to play and hopefully play good. If I don't play good, okay, but like I have 2 more rounds to score. Not focused on winning, but definitely want to climb the leaderboard. Like mindful of that.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and I think before we get into the round two, I think you had a comment you wanted to bring up.
Yeah, just from you were mentioning about
No, right there. Yeah. Someone was
Oh right,
excited to see Logan in the background.
yeah,
oh,
Logan's in the background sleeping.
There you go. So we got some attention on the dog in the background there.
There we go. That makes sense.
All right. So if we get to round 2, Nick, going into that one, you're on the second chase card. You're with the 3 new players, as we talked about. So nobody from the first round. You've moved over to the West course, which is considered by most to be the easier course of the 2. And you certainly made it look easy by carding 9 birdies and finishing -7, which was good for a 10-25 rated round. It tied you for the hot round of the day, put you in 4th place and only 4 points back from the leader at that point, which was Max Rigitnik. So were you feeling it in round 2, or was it something else? Was it about that course, or what had you playing so well after the previous day?
I'd like it would have been hard to putt worse than I did the first day. um, so I think I was much more relaxed on the putting green. Also, we had a lightning delay. Like we got through 3 holes before my group did before lightning started, and I was like really glad that we didn't have to play in the rain as much. Like there was a little bit of rain, and I think that I was a little bit. It's possible that I was less affected by that than other players. So like I didn't necessarily feel great, but I was able to string together some good birdies towards the end.
Yeah.
And then also like I was looking at scores a bit, and I was like, I don't think these other people aren't playing that good. Like they're not having the best day,
Right.
probably due to the 2.5 hour delay or however long it was that we got.
Yeah.
So that might have fueled me just a bit. Definitely putted way better, threw slightly worse, but it was good enough on the final stretch of holes. Like the final stretch of holes there, 13 through 18, you like really want to get almost all of them.
Right.
Same with like the front 9. If you can go like 4 or 5 down on the front 9, like you're setting yourself up well. I didn't do that, but thankfully on the I think I got 5 birdies on the back 9.
Yeah. Well, and you easily could have done it because the 2 holes where you had a bogey were some of the easier ones, right? Like it was hole 1, and then it was I think it was hole 5 as well, maybe the one the other straight down the hill, or 6. But so it could have easily been a -9. But another thing you did on that round on the west side is there's that long par 5 that haunts us amateurs like nobody's business. Daryl and I wake up in a cold sweat thinking about it. But you managed to par that one. Like when you're looking at that, is it difficult for you as a pro, or like we heard Casey tell us last year, he says, oh yeah, you just throw a quick forehand off the tee and wrap it around the corner. And we're like, yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah.
So how do you play that hole?
I'm not surprised Casey said that. He's got a fantastic forehand.
Yeah.
I throw putter off the tee because like I don't need to get around the corner to birdie it.
Okay.
And I don't view that as a hole that I have to birdie. I want to birdie it, but it's totally fine if I don't. So like I think it's like 315 feet to like the landing zone, or 300 feet to the landing zone, so it's not super far.
Right.
And I was just happened to be throwing my putters really well. And then if I land in like the middle, then I can go full send on the second shot.
Gotcha.
Which I kind of did. I didn't throw a great shot, but it's basically like that hole depends on how the tee shot goes. And then the second shot. If this first and second shot are good, then I can attack the pin. My second shot wasn't that good, so I kind of had a tougher third shot. Didn't get to the basket, laid up. Happy with a 5.
Yeah.
You know.
And we had heard from Casey last year that hole is getting tougher because obviously the trees are growing in now. So what it is definitely playing a lot harder than it used to be. You can probably tell me, Jeremy, from our point of view, like, and Nick, you can say it as well. Like, is it getting harder each year? Like, is it really growing in? Are they cutting them back? Like, how is that par 5 playing?
I don't think they're cutting them back. They're certainly growing each year, but at this point now, anybody who would have played that course, I'm thinking, Nick, when those trees were small and they could just bomb easily over top of them, those days are over, where you can still go up and bomb, but if you're anywhere near the left or right and you get caught up, well, the right horribly, and the left, you're caught up in all those trees, it's going to be hard to get out.
Yeah. I can only imagine like the weirdness they must feel like seeing trees triple in size. Totally changes the course. I never got to play it. Last year was my first year, so yeah, the left side is terrible. Right
Yeah.
side's terrible. It's like just
Just keep it in
honestly,
the
like
middle.
if you could go like whatever your straightest disc is off the tee, whatever your throw that again, throw that a few times, and just like get off that hole with a par. It's totally fine.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
the 315 putter, you know, three
Yeah.
times and you're all set.
Exactly. Well, if we can, we will move on to round 3. So you start round 3
Sure.
on the lead card. A couple of familiar faces to you. Casey Hannemar, we mentioned, Max Rogidnik as well. You also have a new face, a new face in Adrian Redick. So he's a young player from the Cranbrook area. As the round goes on, Casey and Max they're always ones to watch, but Adrian is the one that takes the lead and is 3 strokes ahead of you going into the last 3 holes. You and Casey and Max all birdie hole 16, cutting Adrian's lead down to 2. And then do you want to walk us through the final 17 and 18 there for the finish?
Yeah, sure. 17 is like 17's a weird hole. I honestly, like, I had never gotten inside 40 feet off the tee, and I even said that right before I teed off. I was like, I've never gotten circle one.
Yeah.
Um, I was first to tee off, and there's a bunch of people behind us watching. There's a bunch of people on the front side of the fairway watching, and there's a bunch of people by that mobile home or that home over there that we can't see off the tee, but they're standing there watching. Wind picked up. It was like a head right to left, and I just like hurried up and through basically, and it pushed my disc to like 10 feet away. Like I landed 10 feet away. Apparently, it got a nice bounce. I'm not sure, but definitely like shot of the tournament at that point.
Right.
Casey and Max had a really rough hole there. I think Casey bogeyed, Max doubled,
Right.
hitting early on the left side, which is like you can't do that. Like that is absolutely no. And I didn't expect it. You know, these guys are like proven winners, and I was like, they're gonna be pushing too. So they like don't have a good shot. Adrian throws a decent shot. He's last to tee. He ends up like 50 feet right or 45 feet right, something like that. In circle 2, kind of a scary putt because the OB is right next to the basket. If he gets it chain high and misses, likely to go out of bounds. And he like kind of half bids it, and it sits right next to the basket. I tap in for birdie. Now 1 back going into 18.
Yeah.
So exciting. So I'm first to tee off on 18, and I kind of early released my putter.
The 315 foot putter?
Yeah, it's the same disc. And I threw it all weekend. It flew so good. And yeah, early released it. Somehow gets to the trees, like one of the gaps in the trees. And I ended up like almost right where Gabby's disc landed, where she made her winning putt. It was like 20 feet left. And kind of in the same vein, I was listening to Gabby talk. Like I had missed a lot of those putts in the event so far, like 6 probably. And Adrian throws. Actually, I didn't know that at the time, so I'll backtrack. Adrian throws, ends up, I don't know, 75 feet away. Gives it a great bid. We all know the scores. Like we're all checking scores. Hits the cage, it sits. Okay, so he's taking a 3 no matter what.
Yes.
I got to make the putt, and I'm nervous. I'm super nervous. But like also focused somehow. Also like feel just I'm like nervous. My heart rate is probably 120, but I'm like locked in. I'm like carrying the momentum of the last 3 holes. Really 4 holes because I played 15 well too. I just kicked out of bounds. And yeah, I made the putt. It was a little left, but whatever. Went in. Pace was good. and then we had a playoff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which I love playoffs. I love them.
Really?
I really do.
Well,
Yeah,
see,
yeah.
well, we want to get to that because that was part of what I want to ask you about. That is that I'm sitting on the side watching you cash that putt. Everyone says, okay, we're going to go and we're going to do a playoff. They say that it's going to be holes 1 through the course until it's done. And then, like, everybody who's there, like, absolutely everybody starts to follow in a big wave. They start lining the back of the tee box, they start lining the side of the fairway, and you've got to wait. What did you wait? Like, it felt like maybe 15 minutes before you and Adrian actually even teed off for that playoff.
Yeah, maybe 10 or 15 minutes. It was a bit, and we still had to like finalize scores and do all that. We were trying to find and talk to Don because like Casey couldn't connect to and we're like, well, our scores are in sync, but we all, there's a rule now that everyone has to submit. So we're going through that, and then yeah, through that was probably 10 or 15 minutes.
Right.
Gabby's just making a chat here in the comments. Total boss. 7's doable. 315-foot putter. Loves a playoff. What a guy.
Yeah. So why don't you walk us through that, this love of the playoff, and tell us, how it went and what your thoughts were going through it.
Okay. All right. So I do love playoffs. It's like more disc golf, and like I still have a chance to win, which is like big for me. Like I'm like, great. Like I didn't lose it. Like I still have
Right.
a chance. And I like when a bunch of people are watching. It adds excitement to the game. And like it's more enjoyable for the people to watch too. They only have to focus on 2 players.
Right.
And I've been in 5 playoffs in the last 2 years, which is crazy to me.
Wow.
I don't know why I don't like, if I could get it done beforehand, I would, but also it's like whatever.
Yeah.
Happy to play in them.
Do you find that, has there been a bit of a trend? Are you always coming from behind in matching that final score, or has there been times where somebody else has caught you?
4 out of the 5 I came from behind.
Okay.
Right.
And then at an island series, a guy named Forrest caught me.
Okay.
And yeah, that was the last 2 years.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, back to hole 1. Eat.
Yeah. Yes.
It's a big, huge hyzer too, just to set it up for people. There's trees on the left. It's a par 3,
Yeah.
but for any amateur, it's a par 4 at least. It's way around a corner. And how did you guys decide who was going to be the first one to shoot?
Don asked Siri to flip a coin. And I chose heads, and it was heads, so I was like, I'll go first. And yeah, which, like you said, hole 1 is like a par 3, but it's like a par 4. It's very few 2s on that hole, even at MPO. Just so hard to get all the way there and get through the trees. I had one of Miguel's fundraiser discs this year, which are still for sale, by the way.
Okay.
He gave me a DD3 that was like, he asked for him specifically, the stable one. So he's like, try this, and it's like money. It's super stable, but it's not super heavy, so it goes pretty far. And I put it in circle 2 the 3 times that I threw it, which is round 1, 2, and the playoff.
Okay.
I was feeling pretty good going into the playoff. Like I knew what I needed to do on that hole. I had thrown it really well. So, and I honestly, like, I was like, par gets me to hole 2.
Right.
I didn't expect it to end on hole 1 because Adrian had been throwing really well and putting so good. He was making all kinds of 30, 40 footers. So, yeah, fortunately, like it only did go 1 hole. He kind of had a bad tee shot and then threw not a bad approach, but it left him like 40 feet short. And I thought for sure he was going to make it. I was pretty fortunate to have a window, and I was like 50 feet away from the basket in the stuff, maybe 60 feet, not too far. Just lay it up. Miguel's like, just breathe, take deep breaths. And yeah, had a window and laid it up, and then he missed the putt. I thought for sure he was going to make it. He had been putting so well. And that was it. It was a pretty simple playoff, honestly.
Well, and then when you tap that in, does it, like when you win a tournament like that and you got everybody around and it's a playoff and everything else, does it hit you immediately, or is there like a moment where, you're still taking your brain's processing what's just happened?
I think like there's like definitely a wave of emotions. I think I'm still processing the event because like there was a lot of stuff that happened in the days leading up, in the months leading up to the event that like, I don't know, like I'm literally still trying to understand why some things happened. But like definitely like super like almost elated to win that event. I didn't expect it at all, to be honest with you. Like I had played really, really bad for the last 9 months, and then not played bad, putted really bad for 9 months. And so going into it, like my rating was down 21 points from the start of the year. So I was like, well, do my best, see what happens, enjoy my time with my friends. Like that was number one goal, is spend time and enjoy my time with friends, and I accomplished that like with flying colors.
Yeah.
And then to get the win is like crazy. Especially like I was talking with Sylv, and like we're playing. I'm just like missing putts, just like missing so many putts, and they're canning them. And I, like to think that to go from that to even having a chance to win to winning in a playoff is a little bit mind-boggling, and I'm definitely still processing it.
Well, we're excited, and it was great to be there and to watch it all happen. And that's just one of those things that it's best to experience live, is to see it. And it's great. You did a great job at explaining it from your point of view, because not many people will get that side of the experience, the person actually making that throw off that tee. So yeah, well, congratulations on that, Nick. We're really proud of you and getting that win. It was great to watch. And as even talking to Miguel afterwards, he had said a little bit about your putting and all the work that you had done to get better and to improve it. So obviously it's paying off. So whatever you need to process, it's all going the right way. So
yeah, I hope so. Results aside, like I like playing the game, and I'll play the game. I'd rather play the game and play it bad than not play it at all. So like, of course, playing good is so much more fun. But yeah, I'm happy for the event. Miguel helped me a lot with the putting, actually, just like subtle cues, and I hope that I can continue this. I hope my game kind of trends upward. That would be really nice to finish the year strong.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a great segue. I want to find out, what have you got planned for the rest of the year? Have you got any events coming up?
I actually just dropped a B tier because I'm supposed to go to Toronto in a few weeks, but that might change. I may re-sign up. I have the tournament in Mexico, and I have an A tier in South Carolina.
Okay.
So 2 A tiers and a B tier. And not too many events this year. I think that'll be like 17 total. I was hoping to get 20, but like due to work and life's responsibilities, it's not super feasible at the moment. I'm really excited for Mexico. The Go Throw guys are going down there.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so they'll be filming that, and that's like, of course, awesome for us like players that aren't as well known. And yeah, that's it. Not a lot of events left.
Yeah.
It's good. Well, it's that time of the show where we want to let you shout out any sponsors that you may have, and give you time to shout out. I mean, you're obviously a big supporter of Miguel and what he's done for your game, but if there's anybody else you want to give a shout out as well, this is your time.
Yeah, I want to shout out Discmania. This is my second year with them, and I they make a good product, and I've had success with it, and like I would like to continue that. Shout out Miguel again. I'd like to shout out Sylvain.
Nice.
We chatted a bit about the mental side of the game, and like he has taken a break due to injury, so he's been able to like, you know, step back and not be blinded by competition, not be blinded by you know, like any sort of glasses that would get in the way. Sometimes when you're in it, it's hard to see what's really going on. So I got some advice from him on the mental side of the game. I would also like to shout out a guy named Quinn Lawler. We chatted for like an hour and a half about putting. One of the most solid looking putts I've seen. He just like really commits and is like never afraid. Like 60-foot death putt down a hill, just like smokes chains. Like it missed. It was 6 inches right. You know, like. Oh, and then it was really inspiring to me. So I told him that, and then we like got to chatting a bit, and like, dude's only been playing like a little less than 2 years, and throws 600 or 700 putts a day. You know, like, which is crazy, right? Like,
Yeah, that's huge numbers.
I don't think anyone's doing that. Like, there are less than 5 people in the world probably doing that, at least consistently. And so shout out to him. Like, he gave me some great advice on the putt and like actionables and like little games that I can play to develop my putt. And so yeah, big shout out to Quinn. And thanks to all my friends that I camped with. Like, it was really nice to see all of them. Like, that was. I can't wait to see him again.
Fantastic.
Do you want to shout out Tombstone?
Oh yeah, well, shout out Alex Coleman and Richard Leisner at Tombstone Disc Supply.
I'm just going off your Instagram page. That's all.
Yeah. I love them. I really enjoyed my time in Nanaimo and getting to know those guys. So
yeah. Well, good. Well, Nich, that's awesome. And thanks again for staying up late for us. I know it's a little bit later in Georgia right now, but we appreciate it. And we look forward to getting a chance to talk to you again.
Yeah, this was awesome, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
you bet.
You're welcome. Thanks for your time, Nich. We'll see you soon.
Okay. See you guys.
Thanks.
See ya. Well, Daryl, another Falcons Flight in the books. 3 amazing guests.
Yeah.
And I know you were taking Craig and Carrie's advice this year. You took it to heart, and you were volunteering a lot more than you were playing tournaments.
I was.
So after all of this, do you think Falcons Flight is going to make it back on your must-play list for next year?
Well, I mean, that was part of my go-to is volunteer more, play 5, volunteer at 1. I kind of flipped that a bit this year. Also, I had a great trip out to Comox Valley, part of the Smith Lake Farm Disc Golf Clinic with Thomas, Sophia, Chad, and Nate Sexton. We're going to Nationals
as well, too. Yeah.
And Claire, yeah. We're going to Nationals next week.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big, exciting trip. Hopefully next year, maybe not so far away traveling. So definitely Falcons Flight is going to be a bit more manageable, and it'll definitely be on my list for next year for sure.
Yeah. Well, and everybody, it's that time of the show where we want to say thank you for listening and hanging in here with us. And if you can, head over to YouTube and hit the subscribe button for us. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, like, share, comment, all of those things. Help us spread this podcast around and get more people interested, because the bigger it grows, the more we can give out prizes, the more we can share all these great Canadian disc golfers and these Canadian events with more people.
What a nice word from Don. He said that we rock.
Oh, thanks, Don. We appreciate that. And we'd say the same as
chiming in as well, saying absolute great episode tonight as well.
Oh,
wow,
thank you
the
so
chat
much.
Today is good.
Yeah, and with our we like to do giveaways, as you know, and we've got a 500 YouTube subscriber giveaway coming. We're at 437 subscribers, so help us make that push. There's a bag, there's a towel, there's discs, there's 5 discs in there, so much other stuff. We've got this giveaway that we're spinning for the hat. We're gonna have the pound fanny pack from Don, plus this Falcons Flight towel. We're giving everything away as best we can. So we appreciate you, and that's one of the ways we do that. We also have discount codes for you with our sponsors, which are BR Disc Golf and Cardinal Disc Golf. Use the code CHAINOUT and get 10% off some cool jerseys, maybe the Gabby Lee jersey from Cardinal.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
on the BR
Maybe a Miguel jersey as well.
Yeah, that's true. You get them both.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then also too on the BR Disc Golf side, we're going to be playing Glow Golf next week, and they got a lot of Glow discs and Glow gear for you over there. You can also use Chain Out to get 25% off Chains, the disc golf board game, or use COP15 to get a goat towel and get 15% off there.
I don't think you have it in your notes, Jeremy, but do you want to mention that there is a code currently running at BR Disc Golf?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Well, I will run it for you right now. For tonight, if you use code CANNAT, CANAAT, that's CANNAT, Canadian Nationals, CANNAT, you get free delivery to the Chain Out Kickoff Party. I like that.
Yeah,
Not opening ceremonies anymore. It's the Chain Out Kickoff Party.
And the code works until Sunday. So if you put that in.
Sunday, also adding hats to the site today. Code works until Sunday. Edmontonians can have free delivery with code DROP-OFF when he comes through the town on Monday. So if you want to pick up a disc or want to pick up anything, DROP-OFF code gets you free shipping for Edmontonians only. CANNAT for free delivery to Chain Out Kickoff Party at Nationals.
Wow.
There you go.
Good job, Daryl. Thanks for catching all of that. That's awesome. And we have in our green room for our next episode, which we're going to get to relatively quickly here, is we're going to be doing our Patreon episode. You can go over there, get a free link to join us. Terry Heiserbaum Hong, FPO champion of the Gold Eagle Open last year, is not playing this year, but she is going to help us do the team guest pick for our fantasy picks show.
She's doing squats in the green room right now. She's doing bench presses. She's
getting ready.
She's getting fit. She's getting pumped up for this episode.
She's all pumped, and we appreciate everyone who's already a Patreon member. It's another way that you can support us. Appreciate you for joining us, and we want to end this episode for everyone who stuck around this long with a little bit of poetry from your two favorite podcast guys.
Yes.
Go ahead, Daryl.
Aspen Meadows, you may know about. A challenge that may make you shout. That throw was so pure. Going in, I was sure. But alas, it's another Chain Out. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening. We will see you soon. But I can push the right button. It's coming soon. Where is it? Where's the outro? I've lost the outro button.
This is the show that never ends. Yes, it goes.